The Emperor has been expecting you.
Everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number 16 of The Hope Show, a weekly live stream dedicated to collecting movies, TV, pop culture, and general. 14 minutes late is not good enough. I do apologize. I'm not going to give you some crappy excuse. I mismanaged my time and I apologize. I know your time is precious. Thank you very much to 18 people in the chat here for your patience. I did drop a little teaser link in there. I hope you've taken the opportunity to see it. It might be of interest to you. It may not be of interest to you, but I think if you're here to 1/6 scale live stream, it probably is. Right, without further ado, we're going to bring in our panel. We have Ian, H in Silver Fox, Mike L, we've got Dan in Carbonate. Packed house today, folks. And we got Trevor, aka the 1/6 shooter. Now, we get excited about when we talk about this type of stuff, so we got to put in a disclaimer here. This is a warning. This live stream contains copious amounts of enabling, FOMO, and hype. Watching this may result in pre-ordering, loss of funds, and eventual significant other unfriendlessness. It's only a joke, folks. It's only a joke. We wouldn't want to influence anyone because I like to give my audience the understanding that you're of the intelligence to make up your own decisions. All right, so Ian, how you doing?
All good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Recovered
No problem.
from
Thanks
COVID.
very much. Thanks very much for.
Excellent.
You're all right. I didn't want to ask you was the C word because I know you are a massive C word, but I didn't want to know if you had. You know, so like you're feeling better.
Feeling all good, apart from the heavy chest here. So it's no, it's all good. It's all good.
Americans sometimes, like, I didn't say the word, but you know the word. But sometimes, like, I think the Scottish and the English and the Irish, like, we throw the word around a bit more than say in the States.
Oh, much more.
And then in Australia, they're on another level. Like they nearly call their mums like that as if a term of endearment. Like as in it's like an ultimate compliment only there, and they pronounce it with more of an a sound. It's like a massive compliment, you know. Mike, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excellent. I'm happy to see that Ian is no longer lame. That's a callback to. Do you remember that? You're like, Ian, I heard you're lame. Anyway, Happy you're healthy, Ian. Great to see all you guys.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for joining us. Do appreciate it. We'll go clockwise for mine. Dan in Carbonate, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing, guys? Nice to be back after a few weeks of not being on here, and good to see you guys. We're in like a private chat, so we talk crap most of the time, most of the week, don't we? But it's quite nice to.
It's the exact same stuff that we talk about here. Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah.
We
it's
go
life,
taking the crap we've been talking all week, basically.
Exactly. Thanks very much for joining us. Do appreciate it. And Trevor, how you keeping?
Good, man. Great to be back. And yes, that word can get you slapped here for sure. Like,
I'd say so.
Really
I'd
be
say
careful
so.
as to where you're using that word.
Yeah. It's funny the way the Australians will call someone the C word, but then like, nah, he's a good. All right. Now it's okay. I get you, but no, it's funny. It's context
Shane,
is important.
See, in Scotland, it's the most diverse word ever.
Really?
Because we were talking about that in the boys' trip to Spain last week, and you can be a funny. Right? And it's a term of endearment, it's a compliment, but if you say it in the negative term, in Scotland, boy, does that.
It's very useful word. I wish we could use it more.
Any Curb Your Enthusiasm fans? There was a whole episode revolving around that word.
Yeah, I know the show. It's caught a few episodes. I haven't seen that one, but now I want to. It's funny how things contextually mean different things. Like in Ireland, if someone asks you to do something and you are definitely 100% not going to do it, you'll say, "I will, yeah." It's just like total sarcasm, like, you know what I mean? Here, can you lend me €100? I will, yeah. And it confuses people who are not Irish because, well, you said you would, yeah, sarcasm. Yeah. Or I know. I think the ultimate compliment in Ireland is to be called a mad bastard. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's like that. It's you practically have a doctorate if you. Oh, gee, he's a proper mad bastard. Like it's strange. I'm going to check in with the chat very much. I do appreciate, obviously, my four panelists here. giving up some of their time here to talk about these collectibles and pop culture and Ahsoka. We're really looking forward to this chat, and obviously we appreciate people in the chat, so we're going to just touch base with there as well. So we got a shout out. We got Tragedy Tales channel member. We got Christian. We got this is I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that right. Thank you very much, Rita. Thank you very much for being here. We got Mike L on the panel in the chat. Same with Ian, Agent Silverfox. To be fair, I had to adjust the lighting and pre-order the definitive version of Sabine from overseas first batch. Yeah, we're not going to get a better comment than that. I love every bit about that. You're speaking my language on card reviews. Thank you very much. Well played. Mark Mitchell, channel member. Thanks very much for being here. Who else do we got? We've got Uncarded saying we're locked and loaded. We got Dan and Carbon in the chat as well. We got Ryan Smith, channel member. Thank you very much for being here. Alan, the 6 Scale Gallery, he's a channel member and often a panel member as well, and a good friend of mine. Yeah, so thank you very much for being here, Alan. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Talia Meyer, all the way from Germany. William Owens. Judy from Texas, giving you a direct order to smash that like button. We got Boba Fettuccine. We got... trying to catch up here. Joey, Collector Joey, thank you very much for being here. Joey, we need to stream again, because I really enjoyed the episode of Cop and Drop that you invited me on. You got to get on here as well sometime, maybe if you have a day off or something like that. I know I stream when you're in work. So Connor is requesting the Skull and Hattie 2-pack. Yeah, I think that's the thing, man. That's the thing. We got Jose as well. I was actually just watching you before I came on here. You're on the Ben Thomas show. Good to see you. I hope you're keeping well. It's only a joke until it happens. I'm not sure in the context in that, man. I need to catch up. Who else we got? We got Brian Fontaine, the main man, 6 Scale Scavengers. Thank you very much for being here, Brian. My people got to talk to your people about that 2.0 matte finish Batman Begins that you might be getting rid of and I might be looking for. Danny Boy from LA, thank you very much for being here. Folks, I'm going to just interrupt this briefly. Went to the cinema the other day. Like last Saturday, Saturday before last day, my local cinema for some reason was showing the original Top Gun and I loved every minute of it. And then last week, because I got this new fancy cinema with the nice seats, they were showing Maverick. Amazing. Like, seen them all before, just a banger of film. And then, like, they showed a trailer for this new science fiction film called The Creator. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, it looks all right, but Megan turned to me and she goes, will you be going to see that? And I was like, I don't know. A nuclear bomb dropped on LA from AI. Like, it's kind of been done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're, like, you know, the Terminator and stuff like that. But why is it always LA? Poor LA gets a bad rap. That was my point.
LA deserves it. No, I'm just kidding.
Ouch.
Just kidding.
A lot of people liking Curb Your Enthusiasm. Rita wants that deluxe Balin. The F word is the equivalent in the US. It's truly the go-to word.
I think that's universal.
Maybe. So we got Respect the Lore. Thank you very much for being here. I believe Ryan met you in Star Wars Celebration, if I'm right. We got a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you very much, Rita. I do appreciate that. And I think we got an R2. Do we have an R2 here somewhere? Where is it gone? There we go. No, it's a Utini. Utini! I'm just going to assume that Utini means thank you in Java. Okay, really quickly, just a little bit of housekeeping. Agent Silverfox very, very kindly is donating a brand new inbox Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier from Civil War. So when we hit 3,000, we're going to do a live stream. We're going to give you plenty of notice. We're going to ask a question. Quickest person to answer is going to get that. Shout out to all of the members. Troopers, Jim the Collector, Lancelot's Nerd Corner, Neelerific, Mugwump, Stephen Rinks, Mike Ellis in the chat as well, Payton23, Chuli, Bendu Windu, Ryan Smith, and the Commanders. We got Tragedy Tales, we got the 6 Scale Gallery, I saw both of them in the chat, X-Men Supreme, 12-inch Moose Stream, Philip the Fool, Keith, the 6 Scale Padawan, Mark Mitchell, William Owens, Brandon Salad, Empire Strikes Again, he might be joining us later on, Collecting Weekly, Boba Fettuccine, new videos on the channel, thoughts on Doc Ock, thoughts on Kate Bishop, and there's this one. So this one's actually doing quite well. People seem to like these ones. So look, this is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to discuss anyone who got anything new in or out. We're going to talk about RoboCop. We're going to be having a discussion about Sabine Wren, touching base on Ahsoka episode 4. Then finally, the main topic, which I think could get potential to be spicy, but I don't think it will be here. We're going to kind of outline the advantages of constructive criticism. It's okay to say if you don't like something and explain why. It's okay to say you're in love with something and explain why, versus just absolute toxicity. Okay, so we're going to get to that. We're going to hold that to the very end. Right, folks? Anyone at all? Anyone get something new in?
Well,
yeah, I got a...
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I got a Critical Role statue in. Only problem is I
cool.
didn't order that. I didn't order that, though, but...
I was going to say, you're a Critical Role fan? That's cool.
I'm sure it's
I guess
very
not.
cool. I've seen some of the pieces. No, they look cool. And I'll tell you what, they are all sold out for autographs and photo opportunities at NY Comic-Con. So they are very popular.
They're hot,
But
man.
I ordered an Iron Man hot toy, and they sent me that. So Sideshow's being cool about it. You know, I sent them some pictures and stuff, and they're gonna rectify it. Unless you want it, man, I can forward it on.
No. I
right.
can't. No, it's fun to watch. I'm not getting into collecting it though.
You have reminded me of something that happened during the week. I'll speak to that when it's my turn, but I want to hear from... So, could you tell me first of all, Critical, what did you say?
It's Critical Role. I think it's like... Well, go ahead, Trevor. You probably explain.
It's a D&D. It's an online D&D game that's very popular. They actually have a cartoon now on Amazon Prime, I think.
Right, okay. So it stems from the board game.
Yes, you can watch them sit and play, but they have a set, they have sounds and lights, and it's incredible. It's very addicting once you start watching it if you're into that kind of stuff.
So you watch them playing the strategy game.
Yeah, and they're all actors. They're all voice actors, so they're very good at playing the roles and stuff.
I
that.
see.
So
I see.
It's a lot more fun than just watching some bozos play D&D.
Gotcha. And there's like the production values and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Excellent. Right. So that puts a bit more context on it. So you got that, but you didn't order it. I want to know your secret, Mike.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I opened it up almost completely because I ordered my piece from Sideshow Seconds. So I thought, they put it in this Critical Role box. I'll open this up. But no, it wasn't the piece I wanted. But anyway, other than that, I got another 501st Deluxe Trooper in to kind of pad out the that aspect of my collection. So that should be cool.
Good stuff.
That's
stuff. Were you going to speak there before you kind of spoke at the same time as you, Trevor?
Got Crosshair in from Pop Culture,
nice.
which was great. Like they said that when I ordered it kind of late, and they said it was going to come next March, and I'm like, really, next March? That's what we have on the schedule, but then it just came last week, so kind of had a feeling that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah.
1/6 wise, that's all I got, and I got. I've been picking up a lot of Joy Toy stuff lately. 3 3/4, the complete opposite of 1/6, but they're amazing things, man.
Good stuff. Anyone else get anything in?
Yeah,
I've got. I'll go on in. You go
down.
How spoiled is this panel? Yes, this is what I got. Yes, this is what I got. It's Christmas every day.
I've got coming. Basically, I've got RoboCop coming Thursday, hopefully, or Thursday or Friday, and we've been talking about it. I bought a 3-0 Jon Snow Series 9 yesterday. After going into the chat with you guys for about a week, I think I'm going to buy. I'm basically watching Game of Thrones again, and I've hit the hype train. So
none of us are surprised.
Dangerous.
None of us are surprised, Dan.
You know what I'm like, and I'm just hoping that by the time I finish it, they've not been sold. But I've just got that. So that's coming. I've just picked up the 3-0 Rambo Fresh Blood, which is good. But yeah, pretty quiet with everything at the moment, and just similar to the other things, I collect signed WWE figures, legends.
Yeah, you said that.
So I've just got the new Shawn Michaels.
I see.
Oh, nice.
So that's one of the.
And that's signed.
That done. Yeah, they're all
Very
signed.
cool.
I've got about 60 of this line now signed.
Wow.
Nice.
It's
Wow, that's awesome.
So
That's cool.
It's quite cool, man. So I've got another few. When I'm not into 1/6, this is my other hobby. Because obviously sometimes you just.
Addiction. You can say it.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're in a safe
Lots of
space.
those.
You're in a safe
Lots of
space.
those.
Yeah, I've got quite a few now. That's
Safe
coming
space.
quite a bit. Yeah. But they're easy to. They're obviously I just stack them on the shelf like that. So I've got probably about 50 here all signed, so it's good.
I've been selling a bunch of Game of Thrones, Dan. So
You are.
you know, yeah. If you're looking for anything, let
Trevor,
me know.
don't do it to me. We'll talk later.
Sounds like your people are going to have to talk to Dan's people.
That's right.
Yeah,
we'll talk
good
later.
stuff.
All right.
And Ian, you're about to speak there. Sorry, what did you?
Here's one I prepared earlier. This is a hugely important character and figure and everything
nice.
for me.
Oh, that's nice, man.
So this is
Clint Eastwood?
It's the Sideshow Legacy Collection. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the Man with No Name. So there's been various third-party type ones of this for a while. And there's other ones coming out, present toys, but I wanted this one that was signed off from Clint Eastwood. And also...
What's
Just
the
about to say that
quality like on
looks nothing like Michael J. Fox.
And then somebody else in the chat, there's been a couple. The Preacher.
Oh,
So
that's
this is
nice.
awesome.
nice.
This is awesome. So I'm actually... The only issue I've got, like always, is the Sideshow bases, right? They don't do it justice. So I've got a guy... I've actually got third-party Tuco and Lee Van Cleef from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly coming. So I've got custom bases doing a spaghetti western style that I'm going to be doing. So yeah, these were a must-have for me. I feel very privileged having these. These are good memories of watching stuff with my dad.
Preacher is tempting, man. That's
What's
I
the
love
quality
that.
like, Ian, on those? What would you say?
At first,
Is it a sideshow figure, you know.
yeah, as at first, for the money, especially somebody in the UK, because the customs charges and all that's a bit more expensive. I think the coat quality could be a little bit better, but overall, it's just got this presence that's awesome. So I don't want to nitpick. The Man with No Name, it's actually accurate in terms of the poncho, how they took the material and all that stuff. So you see other ones that's different colours. It's too green or the likes. There's a bit of weathering on his jeans. It's quite nice. So yeah, once I've got it on the bases that we're working on, I'm going to be really happy with. So I love
Nice.
Clint Eastwood. I love this.
They haven't done Unforgiven yet, right? They haven't done that one yet, or are
No.
they doing it? Okay, I would pick that up.
Dirty Harry looks good, actually. That was one I'd really want to get.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dirty Harry, but I wouldn't get that one. But Unforgiven, yeah, that's another I would. Actually, just a bit of pop quiz. So Sergione's assistant director, Fabrizio Gianni, stays 2 minutes from me, and I've been in his house. He left the movie industry to be a photographer, the fashion photographer. So yeah, I've been there. He's a cool guy.
That's pretty cool.
That's great.
Hey,
What's
Ian,
this
I
one?
like how you that little video you made of them with Cad Bane. That was pretty cool. You fit right in.
And I'll be doing another when Cobb Vanth comes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Well, I guess Boba wore Spurs too, so maybe you could put him in there too.
A few, but yeah, these are ones I've really wanted for a while, and there's been these Redmond Toys maybe was the first one. Yeah,
it was crap.
And, yeah, being constructive, it could be better.
Yeah.
Toxic positivity from you.
Crap. They're crap.
Sucks.
You're not allowed to like anything. Right? I told you I like shit.
Shane, actually, sorry to say on. Remember, I said that there was another figure I got. I'm a big Top Gun and Maverick fan, and I'm wanting to do something. I took a chance on Redmond Toys, Tom Cruise, Top Gun the original. Opened it, laughed, sent Shane a voice message.
It looked like a melted welly.
It was like a melted welly.
I don't even know what that is, but I think it's great.
Do you know what you don't know what a welly is? Like a farmer's boot.
Yeah,
a rubber boot, like a rain boot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we call them wellies. So like a melted
Yeah.
welly. You know, it's like a.
yeah.
Or another one is that had a face like a bucket of smashed crabs. You know, so, yeah.
See what you
It
can
wasn't
learn.
great then.
You know, I like that.
Yeah, I thought it'd maybe be something I could do with because I'm doing a general movies stuff, but no, that's
Yeah,
no,
Red
that was
Man
a
is
miss.
Red Man is not good. It's not good.
Red Man is like, hasn't it? Wasn't it? They started. Do you remember the Customs iMini Me? They started doing that quite a few years ago, and basically Red Man and
They would rip off iMini Me
who
and
was the
then
one that did
Rain
Dracula
Man.
and all that. Rain Man,
Yeah,
that's
Rain
it.
Man,
They
yeah.
basically recast everything, didn't they?
Yeah, they were very hated in that custom community, man. Red
Yeah.
Man, because they would do it, but it was crap. I mean, it wasn't nearly as good as the stuff. So,
No,
but
no.
Yeah. The no, thanks for sharing those stuff, guys. It looks like a good week. Really briefly, I'll just. So I told this story last week. Just gonna put us aside. I told a story last week that I was just perusing a website in Ireland, just buy, sell, trade, and I came across this brand new inbox Mech Test Tony Stark 2.0 Deluxe with the special edition. So it has dummy and it has the Mark II faceplate he's holding there, and it has the Tony Stark has a heart first arc reactor. So this is a piece that I thought I'd like, but when I have it set up in hand, it's actually just right next to my desk here and just next to the quarter scale Mark III. But it's you always keep looking at it because there's so much going on with the metal pieces and the wiring. I think that helps. The sculpt's pretty good, tailoring, and dummy there. It's really has a full set vibe like. So I'm really happy with this. But the guy was looking for €220, and I put it this way: if I had bought this from Sideshow, which I don't, it would cost €450, like. And he was looking for 220. And I had a bunch of questions that I asked, like that I, normal things like, is there any missing parts? Is it broken? Does it still have the art box? Does it come to shipper? Yada yada. And he said, "Look, man, I'm just going to ship it to you. I'll pay for shipping. You inspect it. If it is, if you want it and you're happy enough with the condition, everything, but it's perfect, then take it." And I was like, all right, I can't argue with that. That's very trusting. Sure enough, kept his word, shipped it the next day. It arrived to me. I looked it in. I didn't even haggle with the price. I was like, nope. Take it, man. There's 220. Good luck. Nice. During the week, then, I had mentioned that. See, this figure was on my wish list for a while. I'd never pulled the trigger on it, and I want the Mark III construction version. Do you know the incomplete, the half full Mark III? Because for me at the moment with the MCU, it's not looking great, and I'm thinking, okay, like Iron Man, I'm always going to like Iron Man. It's one of those movies now. Like, the 1989 Batman or the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm always going to go back and enjoy it no matter when I watch it, like The Matrix, whatever. So this guy was watching the stream and just kind of messaged me, "Yeah, hey, look, I have that. I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm running out of space. Give me your address. I'll ship it to you." Wouldn't take payment. Wouldn't take payment. Wouldn't take payment for the shipping. Just sent me it. So that's on his way. Like, that is just unbelievable, like. Yeah. So just basically lots of gratitude there. So thank you very much to that person. So I'm looking forward to this. So good week, great week, and so we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about this because I'm pretty sure everyone on the panel here is a RoboCop fan.
RoboCop 1.
Yeah.
So you're just kicking them when they're down, man. Okay. Right. So Ian, I'm going to go to you first on this, because I do have some I have some thoughts on this, and I'm curious to see if anyone else has noticed something I noticed, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But Ian, what do you think it is? I can toggle through the photos. You can stop me if you want me to stop in any particular photo. What do you think?
See, to be honest, I don't recall too much about RoboCop 3 because I watched it once when it came out and I didn't like it. So I can't recall. I'm not one of these guys that could pick up on everything. When I did see the photos, I thought, oh, there's a lot of different blue and purple hues that are on this, and I thought it was the lighting, and I couldn't recall that. And to keep it short, I I only liked, probably because I was quite young as well, RoboCop 1. I didn't like 2 and 3.
You didn't like
sorry
2?
No,
No? Man.
sorry.
I didn't see that coming.
Are we no longer brothers?
Look, the only
He's
thing I'm
happy for
saying-
everybody who did, but he didn't like it.
Anyway, he's done.
Goodbye.
Sorry, Ian. Had to do it. So, like, in terms of the figure, though, like, just if you're obviously, I think there are a lot of people. Is there anyone on the panel who thought RoboCop 3 was a good movie?
No.
Tumbleweed.
No.
So I'm pretty sure we can just get that elephant out of the room. But in terms of the figure, because I think a lot of people out there are going to be picking this up for the RoboCop 1 display, RoboCop 2, because it looks like RoboCop to me. You know, it looks pretty damn good. So, like,
Yeah.
Ian, in terms of the figure, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, it's one of these figures that's got a lot of presence, right? It a total standout. I'm totally into that because I love Iron Man. I love that kind of look, and somebody could make a banging display with this, especially if you've got all three or the different versions. But even on its own, it looks great. But it's just not for me because it's like you. It's that triple threat sort of thing. I can't relate back to that, and it's one of the very few movies I've only watched once.
Yeah, I get that. I think I watched it twice. Once back in the day when I was a kid, and once recently when I saw this being announced. And usually when I revisit movies that I haven't seen in 20, 30 years that I watched when I was a kid, if I didn't like them when I was a kid, a lot of time I movies I like and I thought were good as a kid, I rewatched and go, God, this is awful. But this one I knew I didn't like as a kid and rewatched it and went, yeah, nothing's changed really. Yeah, look, I'll leave my thoughts on the figure until last. But Dan, you're picking this up, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably complete opposite to you guys because I absolutely loved this when I was a wee 12-year-old back in the day when it came out in '87. I remember getting it on, like, watching it on video. Because I was too young to watch it. You know, it's quite violent. It's really violent.
Oh yeah.
I hate the second one and I hate the third one. I mean, the second one is watchable. Third one is worse than. It's not as bad as Jaws of Revenge, which is the worst film for me ever, but it's pretty shit, to be honest. But I had the original back in when it came out, 5-6 years ago. I mean, it looks a little bit bluer, which is quite close to the original movie because there is a blue tinge to it in the original movie, not as much as 2, is it, or 3? But I think there's a little bit. So I like the colour of it, but a lot of people seem to be moaning that it's not as blue as the preview pictures, the promo pictures, like the blogger pictures don't seem to be the colour that may have changed. To me, this probably looks, apart from obviously the jetpack and everything, it's just they've redone it. They've just recast it again, sort of thing. To me, it looks like, I might be wrong. The chat might agree because I've only looked at these quite briefly, but it looks pretty similar. I like the gun, the gun, whatever it's called, like
the attachment.
thing. I quite like
Is
that.
there actually blue in this, or is it just silver with
there's a purple tinge,
some lights
isn't there?
reflecting off of it? Oh, is there?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if you look at the promo pics, they've got that blue purple tinge, and I think a lot of people were, really liking that because obviously it gets bluer and bluer throughout the whole season. The 3 films. You know what they're like, but I mean, it's RoboCop 3, but they've got a Peter Weller, faceplates, which is great because I don't even know who the other guy is.
Peter Weller?
That's Peter
I know
Weller,
in the movie it wasn't Peter Weller.
I remember when this was announced.
This is Peter Weller, isn't it?
went
to me, as in the faceplate is Peter Weller. I think.
Do you think? Is it definitely Peter Weller?
I don't know. I remember that's
Peter
what people were
Weller's
saying
me,
when this was announced, that they were happy they went with the Peter Weller faceplate and didn't use the recast actor. I'm not sure.
It does look like his
It does
face.
look like it.
To me, I don't know if you remember, Entebbe did the same thing. Entebbe, when they did
This
the
looks
court
really funny.
scale. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's a weird face.
Is
It's like-
almost the Christian Bale.
Yeah, but do you remember
His mouth is really small in this one. I just
exactly
noticed
what
it.
he's saying there.
Hey guys.
No, it's like give your granny a kiss.
That's really small.
Dan, you won't be using that faceplate.
No, that'll be sold.
No.
What I was going to say is,
Because everyone will want that.
yeah, I'll get rid of that straight away. $50 on that. Look, just quickly going to say, Enterbait did the quarter scale, RoboCop 3, similar thing, and it was Peter Weller nameplates, faceplates rather. And I think there must be a licensing thing of getting around it. That's what I think it is, because.
Is there any physical
that
difference
one's
between
well, I
the
think.
outfits from 1 and 3, or 2 and 1 and 2? Is there any
doesn't
difference?
There doesn't seem to be.
Similar.
They didn't change anything between movies. Okay.
I think. But
They
They
chat
didn't know how to
window
market.
is
They didn't know how to market, how to sell extra
Yeah.
product. Come on, guys.
They were probably thinking if we change it, we've got to build another suit, and they probably didn't have
That's true.
the money for that.
That's true.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
that's
probably
true.
what happened. Like, because
Yeah,
the
that's true.
suit. There's a great.
I think that is Peter Weller. I really do. I think I wouldn't get this if I didn't think that was the other guy. So
They probably just can't get rights.
Robert Burke or Robert John Burke or something.
Yeah, I'm just going to pose it with like
That
similar
looks
to what
awesome.
Ian does with like, movies like Rambo and when I get Rocky and this and loads of the 80s stuff. That'll go with all that. So I'll get it, and I think someone's saying in the chat like we said ordered it. I think is it on waitlist on Sideshow already?
I think so.
People
Yeah.
are saying.
Yeah, it's been for a while.
So it'd be
Imagine you're the
interesting
guy-
how many that he did.
Imagine you're the guy who was in this movie who played him, and then you're like, "Yes, I'm gonna get a." That's not me.
Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it?
Unless
That would
he doesn't
suck.
get his image on.
That's my duck.
Sorry,
lips.
guys. We interrupt this broadcast. I want to know everyone's favorite RoboCop quote.
Does it have to be from RoboCop himself or from the movie?
Anyone.
I'd buy
Dan.
that for $1.
Okay,
One
Mike's
of
in
my-
with
Yeah.
that one. All right, go ahead. Dan.
Yeah.
Just give me my fucking phone call.
nice.
It's on
Go
the
on.
desk. Remember? Sorry, I was
Trevor.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's it. I mean, either one of those two, I'd buy that for $1. Of course, this comes to mind. That's it.
Ian.
I'll be back.
Oh my god. It's always
Roger.
one. You keep making questions
Roger.
like that.
Got a bad
I've
feeling
got
about
two.
this.
I've got two. See, cops don't like me, and I don't like cops. Or everyone's favorite. Can you fly, Bobby? Bobby did not fly too good. Bobby did not fly too good. I love them. Love
So
them.
you've only seen
Those are
this
great.
twice and you know it. You're quoting it already.
What?
You said you've only seen
No. I've only seen the shit one twice. I've only watched RoboCop 3
You've
twice.
seen RoboCop 3 twice.
Yes. I've seen
I've
RoboCop
seen the
1
worst.
multiple times. I've seen RoboCop 2
You've seen
multiple
RoboCop
times.
3 twice. Oh, yeah,
Because I
you've got
watched
that,
it when I was a kid and I thought, this is bad. And I thought
then you
maybe as an
purposely-
adult I would appreciate it. And I did not.
Man, I actually thought you didn't like Robocop. That's what I think. And then you have got RoboCop in your thing anyway. haven't you?
No. The 1987 original is the movie.
Right, okay, got you.
And I liked RoboCop 2. But I'm saying that
Right.
when I revisit like a lot of movies I like, when I was a kid, I go, oh, I don't like that. As in, I'm not talking about RoboCop. I'm talking about a lot of movies I thought were bangers when I was a kid. I rewatched going, oh, that's not great. But RoboCop 1 holds up for me. Even RoboCop 2. RoboCop 3, no. Like, it was just that I didn't like it as a kid. And I really didn't like it when I was watching it as an adult. No, God, the first two RoboCop, especially the first one. The first one is like, come on. No.
Just a
You
quick
definitely
example of that. I rewatched the Back to the Future trilogy, and man, 3 holds up so much better than I thought it did as a kid. I really didn't. I was obsessed with part 2, and as an
See, I prefer
adult,
3 to 2.
so do I
three.
now. But
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
kid, I didn't get 3, and now I'm looking back and I'm going, 3 is so much better than 2. I just was obsessed with hoverboards and whatever.
Have you ordered those figures yet then? The cowboy figures?
Ian
No,
Ian
I failed
has
to resist them.
Ian has a funny one. How good was he? Like he's like, that was just one of the coolest bad guys because he wasn't a big
Sonic.
muscle head. He wasn't like 7 foot tall. He was just kind of like he could be your dad. Do you know what I mean? He's just a normal looking
in that film,
dude.
isn't
Like, do you know what I mean? He was just, but he shoots people, and like it's just and he's rude, but like
He's rude.
Yeah. He's incredibly
It's
rude and
quite good,
extremely
custom
violent.
figures of
Like,
it.
And what makes you a good bad guy? I'm rude. I'm very rude.
I'm very rude.
I'm very rude.
Yeah, I also mutilate
Higher.
people, but mostly that I'm very rude. Yeah. But no, he was just awesome. I liked him as Red Foreman as well. Did you watch?
It's good.
I although after this week we won't get into it, but after this week
Yeah, let's not go into this.
I'll find it really, really hard to go back and watch and enjoy the 70s show. I like loved the 70s show, and now it's just a bit like but
yeah.
Alan the Six Guild Gallery's coming in saying Clarence Boddicker was a nasty little C word. Yeah. They'll fix you. They'll fix everything. Why aren't you here, Phil? I understand you're at work. He was a pretty realistic villain. I always quote that line at my brother. Man, that's a good point. Maybe that's what was so scary about him. Like, sorry, Dan, you're getting this. You spoke about it. Ian, you spoke about it. Mike, Trevor, anyone?
It doesn't interest me. I mean, I enjoyed the first movie. I vaguely remember the second movie. It was a long time ago. I have to go back and watch it actually, but that's not enough for me to pick this up. But it looks cool. Happy for those who want it.
And Mike?
Positive.
Yeah, it interests me. It definitely hits my nostalgia box. I mean, my father, when we would have guests over, he would say, "Jonathan, do the RoboCop walk," and that is my name, by the way. So
everyone's mind is blown now in the chat, going that your name
right?
is not actually Mike.
But I loved it growing up. But I had a waitlist conversion on it, and I ended up passing. And the logic that I applied was that I'm paying for all this extra stuff that I'm going to strip off them and never use because I want the RoboCop 1 look. So the more I thought about it, I said I can wait for an anniversary or something of the first film. It'll come along again, I hope.
Yeah, I think if people are getting this as the RoboCop 1 or 2 representation, what you have on the screen there, job done. Like, it's beautiful.
It's perfect. Yeah.
That looks
It's
great.
but like I can see his point as well. The thing is,
I'm paying another $75 for all this other stuff.
you're not wrong, but as much as the movie wasn't good, the jetpack and the attachments still look pretty damn cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think the jetpack might have softened though, the kind of weathering and stuff on it, from what I remember, a little bit. Again, you'd have to fact check me on that now, but
you may find somebody parting this out. Like,
this looks pretty.
That's what I was going to say. Because with the
that's
original one, what's the prices for the original like at the moment?
Oh well, if you're
Because
going original
is it
with the
cheaper
chair,
to
mint
buy
and
this
box,
one and get that, or
oh, it's cheaper to get this one.
Yeah.
Especially if you're
Yeah,
trying to find
I
one
mean-
with the chair, like could be talking 500 plus. Like
Mm.
that's a
And I
pretty
remember
that's a pretty cool pose. Like, look at that.
yeah.
I remember
Is
a
there
few
any
years ago.
diecast in this?
I think the figure is diecast. The RoboCop's
Yeah, it's diecast. Yeah.
yeah,
Parts of
jetpack's
it,
still
right?
cool.
Like maybe the legs and kind of how they do for other diecast figures, right? Not the torso typically.
No. That's all
Yeah,
right.
this
It looks
is-
good.
yeah. I think it looks great. You get the battle damage chest plate. I don't think it comes with the battle damage helmet, does it?
No.
No.
Didn't see it.
But like similar to my, which I'm going to do is that's going to be what I'm going to pose it as, and like I might even sell the other bits because I'll never use them, so I'll just pick that if I have to.
Yeah, that's another option. You could
That looks
sell those
great.
parts and probably make some
That's
money
true.
on those too. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
Make
killer
$75
looking piece.
back right then.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
True. Just a shout out to the 43 people watching in the chat. Massively appreciated. If you are enjoying the content, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. There's also links to channel memberships in the description there pinned. Thank you very, very much. Anyone else want to talk about this? Anyone else got anything to add here?
Nope.
Ian, did you already have a RoboCop, do you?
Nope. No, I don't.
And you are not getting this, or you are getting this?
No, I'm definitely not getting that. I'm stretched on so many IPs, so it The first one I would contemplate because I've got an 80s shelf thing that I'm looking at, but I've got other priorities if I'm honest. So, but I do like it. RoboCop 1, that is. But no offense to anybody else that's getting this and Dan, because it looks great.
Yeah, it really does. Same with me. I'm just a bit too stretched thin and couldn't really justify it. But it's an awesome looking figure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like anyone out there who's a fan of RoboCop. Let's be honest. I don't think I've ever met someone who said 3 is their favorite one. You know, so anyone out there who's like getting this as a representation for 1 and 2, what on the screen there? I think job done. And like, yeah, like when I saw this, I was like, right, that's guaranteed. I'm getting a RoboCop because I'll get this one, or best case scenario, I'll work back and find the one with the chair for, a reasonable price. But I ended up finding the one with the chair, and it was a not so reasonable price. It was kind of like, it wasn't retail. It was more expensive than retail, but it wasn't for like silly eBay prices that they're going for now. Because it's say if you go onto eBay now, people trying to sell them for like $1,000 and stuff like that, I'd imagine. The one with the chair is nice because it's, it's die cast. Obviously, it has a chair. It has the swap out battle damage chest plate and helmet. It's got the die cast gun. The regular gun fits into the hip. What else? It has sound effects and stuff. It actually has phrases which I've never actually used, but it has a little remote. But I just like immediately checked to make sure that the batteries weren't in it, but it was new, so it was good. So yeah. But I
have the NECA 7-inch with the chair and battle damage and all that. So cool. That'll have to do for now. Yeah.
NECA make good stuff.
Yeah.
So Mike Fela is saying no one is securing the bag. Apparently not. Apparently apart from Dan. Haven't seen 3 personally. This will represent the first movie for me. Yeah. You got this coming in, Alan? I can't remember. I didn't realize you were picking that up.
Yeah, Shane, he said in the chat today that
did he?
That he's done it, and
was that? I don't know. Was that a recent? I can't remember him saying.
Yeah, he might have a bit of a discussion with the wife, isn't that right, Alan?
Oh right, Alan, we'll pray for you. So yeah, look again. Figure looks great. I even think the jetpack looks great in the attachments. But I have the one I want, so I'm gonna pass on this. But as usual, happy for people that want this. So this took me by surprise. That they actually, I thought they might have done the lazy route and not given us a head sculpt, but they did give us a head sculpt. I think this. I'm not going to say anything. Mike, I'm going to go to you first.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah, I'm picking on you. But what do you think?
So, I love this character. I love the actress. I'm going to give it a 9. I know I'm the only one in the community that thinks so.
No, I'm actually with you now, man.
Oh, okay.
One little thing.
Right. So I'm not totally alone. She's missing a little bit in the chin, that little bit of a dimple that she has. There's something I haven't been able to pinpoint exactly about the nose and the lips, but it's almost to the degree that a slightly off at certain angles, like Padme is, which is another sculpt I really like a lot. It's just not a 10 for me. Fennec Shand was a 10, so they do exist. This one's just a little off for me.
I think that Reva, if the Reva turns out as good as the prototype, that's a 10.
Yes,
I thought that. I won't be picking it up, but I just thought, wow, that was a Collecting Weekly guys would say a shrink ray. I thought that was really impressive.
I agree with you there. Yeah. So but look, I already ordered it. Okay, so nothing's going to stop me from ordering her.
But you're acting like saying it's a 9 is a bad thing. Like I literally haven't taken a good look at this apart from what I saw on Instagram whenever scrolling through. But I'm not really looking at it when I'm at work. But now that I'm looking at him here, like this is more or less my first time seeing all the details and seeing it on a big screen and stuff like that. But I'm just going to keep looking at these pictures before I give my feedback. But so you reckon you're happy with it, you've got it ordered and you think the head sculpt's a 9?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's and I'm very curious to see like a profile as well, which they haven't given us here in any pictures. But Jesus, the whole figure is just so beautiful too. The sculpt is so mesmerizing as a human likeness, maybe not perfect to her in my opinion, that I've almost heard nobody talk about the rest of the figure because we're so distracted with how beautiful the sculpt is. But I didn't look at all the details today. Perhaps those are leather. We have been getting some leather belts and things like that. I don't know, but I'd be curious to know about that. But they just nailed everything else. Everything else is a 10, no doubt. Maybe those are single jointed elbows. I don't know if we've nailed that down as a community yet, but yeah.
It's a great body type. Like the body type seems perfect for her. Like it just
100%.
doesn't seem like a generic body.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I think like this is a Mandalorian that's going to stand out because isn't she like an artist in the Rebels show?
Yeah.
So she's like the vibrant hair, and then even like what looks like is that kind of reminds me of like a Jamaican flag or something. The color combinations on her.
Painted her armor like half a dozen times, I think, during the show.
Yeah.
Like it was different colors and.
I think it's pretty damn cool.
It.
What would be the deciding factor for me will be how the show goes, So but I'll Trevor, I'm gonna skip over to you. Unless Mike, do you have something else to add or?
No. Just real quick though, a Mandalorian with a green lightsaber too. I mean, you can't get more unique, right? So,
absolutely, yeah.
very cool.
So Trevor is.
I'm getting this regardless. Rebels is fantastic, and I have to have all the Rebels in live action. She's great. I mean, I think that she needs more to do, but the last episode we're going to get to that was better. I think Mike, not besides the cleft, which I think I'm seeing in some pictures, but not like here too well. Besides that, there's one little thing I would change, right there. You see it?
Yeah.
Her eyebrows. If you look at her face, they're unusually high over her head. Like there's a lot of space between her eyes and her eyebrows, and I think something like that, it's as minor as it is, makes a difference on the sculpt. So that's my fix. That, and I added the little cleft chin to her, and I think that looks a little bit more. When I put them side by side with her, I thought that was it's a small thing, but I think they could easily change that and fix it. But regardless of that, it's fantastic, man. Like this looks really, really good. This is definitely a 9 out of 10 sculpt for me. So you could.
Sure, that's really,
I guess.
really cool of you to notice that. I mean, I think for most of us, our brain subconsciously sees things that we can't verbalize, and you're able to see that little difference. That's really cool.
You look at multiple pictures of her. This is usually what I'll do with a sculpt that I'm like, what is off? What is off? It was Mace Windu as well. There was something about, I can't even remember what it was. And
this, I forget what this is called. This part underneath the nose for Mace Windu.
Plenum, I think is the plenum. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right. That's what it was. It's weird stuff like that, but it can make a difference. It can make a big difference. I don't think this is as big a difference as it would be in some other places if she furrowed her brow. But if you look at her in every picture, she's got a very wide-eyed look, and it's because her eyebrows are so high on her head. It's really it's amazing. I think the cheekbones are good. I think the shape of the face is good. I don't think there's anything in the nose and the mouth that I saw, Mike, but I could be wrong on that too. I don't know.
Do you think it's, if you look at the catch lights in her eyes?
Yeah.
Do you then think that skews because you've not got a fill light here? Would that change?
On this shot, maybe, yeah. But I've been looking at the other shots with her too, and it's the same thing that I'm looking at. Like when I compare her to shots in the show, it's that eyebrow height. They're just really, really high. I think the cheekbones are right. I think the shape of the face is right. Yeah, she doesn't have the cleft. But she does seem to. In some of the smaller pictures, you can see it, but you can't see it.
It's almost like the shadows there, but the skull.
Yeah, you can see it sort of there. I just kind of emphasized it. And
so you're saying her like on the sculpt, her eyebrows are too low, and
then in
too
real
low.
Life, they need to be higher.
Are quite high, is it?
Very high. Yeah, very, very high.
So Pedro Lopez
unusual.
seems to be agreeing with you that her eyebrows are like that high in real life. Are you saying that her eyebrows are too low on the figure? Pedro,
on the figure,
in real life
higher.
All right,
yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at this is before, this is the figure as it is, and this is my Photoshop fix of it, and it just it's minute, but like it makes a big difference. I think.
Kate Admitter saying it's 100 out of 10 sculpt. Who is your maths teacher? Right, but no, we welcome.
Some people are skewing because of who she.
Look at this guy! Look at this guy popping in here.
What's up, Costa?
What's up, Costa? Let us know if you want a link, man. You can pop in if you're not doing anything.
That
yeah,
said, I'm
so-
very happy with this, and I'm picking it up for sure. Like, yeah,
Cool.
I gotta have all the
Stuff.
rebels.
Yeah, me
Alright,
too.
so-
Me too.
Where is it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So, yeah, I want to take a quick look at this. I'll just flick through some of these pictures anyway. 1 second, move us to the side. All right, so let's have a look. Yeah, like, I really like it. Sorry, I think Uncarded Reviews corrected me there. It's more like the South African flag. Yeah, you're dead right. Yeah, you're right. I think the sculpt is really strong, man. My first impression was the sculpt is really strong. I just looking at the armor now. I think it's very, very unique. The body type seems good. I like the way there's like multiple different straps and belts for whatever blasters and lightsabers. I like the gauntlets with kind of what looks like kind of yellow arrows or something on them. It's hard to make out there. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, Mike, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man. You see, we're gonna get into the episode later on, but my point for the first 2 or 3 episodes is kind of like people are saying you need to watch Rebels or you're not going to get it. But my point was like, well, I knew little or nothing about Ahsoka when she first made her live action debut appearance in The Mandalorian, and it made me go back and want to watch the Clone Wars. And Rebels, this show isn't making me do that to Rebels. So I know nothing about Sabine Wren really, apart from what I've seen so far. And it wasn't in episode 4 where I'm like, yeah, like the action, the way she chased down Shin Hati and stuff like that, I really liked that. Mike, you're right. The green saber with the Mandalorian. Imagine that was CCFL and her posed next to Ahsoka or something. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a Purgle on. Just looked it up. She's got a drawing, a painting of a Purgle on her pauldron there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Just little details there.
Is this on her left shoulder or?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it's that shoulder. Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool. And I like all the pitting and the weathering here and the scratching, and the gauntlets on Mandalorian are just something that one of my favorite pieces of the armor.
I think she's got the Phoenix on the other one, which was her drawing of the Phoenix in the cartoon was the inspiration for the Rebels logo.
She's particularly skinny. Like she's a lot. It doesn't seem to be the same body type as like Fennec or Costa.
No.
It doesn't seem to be the same, which is good because like she's probably slighter than those two women. Like, I mean, it's very elegant pose there. I don't think they could.
Really good looking body type. You know what I mean? For her, it's perfect.
Two pictures back. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know you're all right. I'll go back. Go on.
Just the way she's
guns look so
weight
good.
Leaned back like that. It's just such a great pose there, and it just accentuates
nice pose,
how different that body type really is on this figure.
Yeah, it's just really powerful, kind of and kind of like feminine at the same time. Pretty damn cool.
Yes.
Very elegant looking.
Yes.
Hey, man, I really like this. I need the show to be good, like, because for every figure, like, you know, again, this is the trap. I'm in the trap zone, the danger zone. I pass on a lot of stuff that looks cool to get the things that I actually love, to get those triple threats. And say if the show bombs, and then I'm like, all right, this looks awesome. So it's like, even if I love the character and love this version and the show bombs, I don't like the source material. It's like, for every time that happens, there's going to be like 10 things out there where they are triple threats. You know what I mean? There's like so much coming like that. I've got to be like extra selective. I really want the show to be good. I hope they continue on to episode 4. We're going to get into it, but
this shot right here leads me to believe, unless it's a trick of the eye, but I don't think it is, that those elbows are not single jointed elbows. That looks like a pretty deep bend right there. That looks like she's nearly folding them as probably as far as you can get. I mean, it could be a trick of the arm going back, but I don't think so. I mean,
simple detail that I don't think we get that much. She's got like painted, polished. Polished nails. Like, we don't really get that. Like, I mean, she's kind of like the arty hipster Mandalorian, isn't she? Like, do you know what I mean?
She probably wears the most makeup we've seen in a female Star Wars character as well. But it matches the cartoon, so.
Yeah,
one thing though, which we've got to say, is that Hot Toys are smashing them out the park. These Star Wars figures lately, aren't they?
Particularly the females.
Like
Fennec,
females,
Casca, Reva.
Fennec.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo-Katan's okay, not bad. I mean, the worst one is actually with the photos is the actual one with Ahsoka. If you actually look at that, that needs a new head sculpt. I think it's not perfect. It needs, I mean,
but that's
I'm
probably coming.
I mean, compared to the Sabine head sculpt, what we're seeing, it's, you know, that for me, that's a 9.5, 9.5, where Ahsoka was probably an 8, if you know what I mean, a 7.5. But the other thing, you know, I really hope they do the what's the Jedi with Balin. What's the other female?
Oh, Shin Hati.
Shin
Yeah,
Baddie.
if they do her and Hera, I mean, we could have some. I mean, they're just smashing it at the moment. Even with the guys, like with, you know, Boba Fett and, you know, and Moff Gideon and things like that. You think about all the sculpts they've been doing, the Star Wars TV shows lately. It's been
The Bad Batch has been amazing
Bob
too.
Band, as well, coming out. That they look great. I mean, they are on fire with that. You know, we're in a good space at the moment for Star Wars fans. But like Shane said, for me, I would still get this even if the show didn't deliver 100%, because it's
me too.
a bit different.
Yeah.
And
I like
for
Rebels.
me, if I love the show, I'll buy it off you when you get bored of it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I'm good with all that stuff, so it's fine. I've still got all that.
My only
Rita just saying, I'm just going to address a few chats there. Rita saying she's petite but fierce. Yeah, pretty much. We got X-Men Supreme saying, just got done working. Channel member, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate the support. Hello, fellas. Order Sabine as soon as you went live. You don't mess around. We got Tragedy Tales. If she has single jointed elbows, I'm out. Okay. Fair enough. Again, you know, we like
what you
know,
like.
that's fair enough. Yeah, we like what we like. That's fair enough. I really enjoyed episode 4. Absolutely, yeah. We're definitely going to be talking about it later on. We'll put up a spoiler warning. And Rita said she loves that she polished her nails. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Sorry, what were you saying there?
I don't know who, but like my only problem is that we're gonna get all the Rebels, but we're not gonna have Kaden Jarrus because he spoiler alert didn't make it through the entire series. So I'm gonna have to find a custom of that to go on.
What
the
about
show
if we
for
get a
sure.
flashback or something that they do live?
I'm
action?
hoping, but I'm not expecting that to happen.
Force Ghosts.
Force Ghosts, maybe that would be pretty cool. They did do, you know, with the ghost from Hasbro. Yeah, exactly. They did do a Kanan Jarrus on the card.
What the hell
that
is
was
going on here?
Well, you know what? Lael was talking about that today. They don't want to show his face yet, so that's blurred out.
All right, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. No, that's
Everybody's
fair.
like, "What happened? He's melted."
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think
Yeah.
they want to show his face.
This looks like a melted welly.
Yeah, that does look like melted.
Yeah, but Trevor,
Yeah.
Ezra looks like he's in another galaxy just eating pork pies.
I think that's the angle in the outfit. I hope. I've seen the actor.
It's
He's
the lighting.
heavy. It's the lighting.
that
It's the light.
image
Sorry,
there
I
on the
should
left,
have called back.
With the
Shane,
lightsaber,
see,
it's
since you've
wicked.
brought this
I love
up.
that image.
Since you've brought this image up, it's the one point I'd like to raise, because this figure I'm absolutely buying. I think this is fantastic. And even if it is single jointed elbows, I'm buying it, because the way I'm posing it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If
Would
you think
pose
about
it without the
Sabine-
head sculpt, with the helmet on, or the head sculpt with the head sculpt.
Got to have her holding the helmet, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be a tough
think-
one for me deciding that. But the one thing I'd like them to improve on is that base. Think about Sabine as a character. She has a black base. No, she's got a spray can and paint on
Oh
that, right?
yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
cool if
yeah.
it was actually graffiti, wouldn't it? Or art,
Yeah.
there's an art thing on it. That'd be wicked.
So
Yeah.
they've
That
got
would be
to
really
change-
cool.
For me, they've got, that's the one thing, please. Even if you've got the overlay cards, just to put on the base, do that. It'd be quite cool having an accessory, a spray can or something.
Make it
right?
look like the pattern of the wing of the TIE fighter that she painted up.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's the one
But
thing.
yeah,
I'd
what a
like them
figure.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a stunning figure. But it's the
A
one
loaf
little
cat. I
thing.
love the loaf cat too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool
It's
accessory.
It
to
comes
get.
with a lot. So you have
2
what you have
years
like
away
your
is this, or
go on.
is it 2 years away? This release date.
Well, probably 18 months, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
These are coming in quicker, guys. You look at
No.
you see, some are hitting less than a year.
This says July to December 2024. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's not apart from the head sculpt. It's it's not that hard. I don't think. I can imagine.
Like they
Trevor,
have
real
everything
quick,
else.
supposedly there is a picture of Kanan in the cockpit of the Ghost. Supposedly.
What?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I have to go back and look.
Oh my
Paris
god,
flying
that would be
with-
amazing. I wonder if she's just like having like a flashback dream or something like that, or
Well,
oh my god, that'd be great.
Could be awesome.
They look really good together.
They do. I like the varying heights too. They're not just again, the body's perfect. I think for her,
Yeah, they look pretty damn good.
really nice.
Yeah, I like to do these. So, Mike, did you order this already? You said
I did. I had a $20
Yeah.
coupon from a
you don't have
previous
to
order.
justify it. You don't have to justify it.
Yeah, you know what? With that 9, if it was a 10, I would have saved the coupon for something else. But
Yeah. So you've gone and pulled the trigger on this. Dan, you're
I
interested.
want to
as well,
send
you're
a
saying?
message. I want them to have a blowout first week. So anyway,
And Trevor, you are.
Yeah,
are you-
I'll get this. I'll pre-order this. Yeah, I'll
and
pre-order this
Trevor?
closer to the time. But yeah, so
Yeah, I'll pre-order it. I'm not gonna like instant right off the bat, but I'll
Yeah.
definitely pre-order.
And that's a full panel. I gotta wait until I see those other 4 episodes. We will be talking about episode 4 pretty much now, but yeah, I definitely has improved greatly. So right, so he's on the screen on the back of the cockpit. Apparently, that's what Phil was saying. All right, so we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna put up a spoiler warning here. Do I have a spoiler warning? I should. There we
There's
go.
a spoiler right
Okay.
there.
There you go. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a fair point. Right, so we're talking Ahsoka now, folks. So, if you haven't seen episode 4, that's what we're going to be talking about. There's your spoiler alert. And 47 people watching. Thank you very much. Okay, so just a general around the the chat can participate this as well. Out of 5 stars, what was your rating? So Mike,
4.5.
okay, Dan,
4.5.
Trevor,
4.
I'm on a 4 as well, and we'll get Ian's take when he comes back. So any kind of highlights for anybody? You want to just jump in?
Lightsaber
Just the
fighting.
action. It's
It's
really good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great action. Yeah. Had some cerebral moments as well. When Sabine had the map, and Baylan Skull is trying to convince her to just not destroy it and just give it to him, and playing on her emotions, talking about Ezra, and I was kind of looking at him going, is he using a Sith mind trick there, or is he just appealing to her emotions, or are we made to think? I think that's maybe the whole thing. It was subtle enough that it could be a Sith mind trick, or that maybe he just knows how to pull at her heartstrings. And the way she kind of sold Ahsoka out. I know we're not done yet. She's probably going to make amends, I imagine. But spanner in the works. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed that. Lightsaber battles were amazing. Even Hu Yang getting stuck, or Hu Yang.
Hu Yang.
Hu Yang getting stuck in there. How often do we see a protocol droid standing?
Droids fighting. I know. That's great.
That was a lot of fun.
He'd be a good figure as well, wouldn't he? I think.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I really want to see
Yeah.
Hu Yang. I hope they make him for
Yeah,
sure.
I think they will.
Anything in that
Articulated
forest
back
was
arms.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting when you look back and you have somebody compare it to the Force Awakens forest fight. You notice that it's in the volume. You know what I mean? There aren't a lot of trees in between them. Too many. I don't know. It just looks a little. But it was great, man. I loved the atmosphere. It was really, really good, and the fights were great. I think as far as Sabine goes in the handing over of the map, I honestly think she's playing it a little bit, because I think she felt like, I'm going to go with you You know what I mean? Like, you're going to take me prisoner. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to trust you that you're not going to hurt me. And it's maybe my only chance to get to Ezra. So I think she just felt like that's the play right now. You know what I mean? Destroying it isn't going to do anything. And yeah, you're going to get there, but I'm going to get there too. And hopefully we can do something together.
Yeah, she's like, basically, I'm going to let on that I'm at your service, but I'm really going to backstab you all. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was 4 stars. I was very happy with it. Like, I mean, so far, episode 1, 3 stars, episode 2, 3 stars. So, like, you know, in the middle of the road, watchable. Definitely not a train wreck, but definitely not mind blowing. Must see TV. I wasn't a fan of episode 3, but episode 4 kind of went, okay, they're on track now. Build on this. This is good. Like the 2 Siths or whatever they are. We don't know if they're Siths or whatever, Dark Jedi or something in between or something different. Lots of presence, great action scenes. I really like the action scenes for Sabine. The way she just threw herself in at Shin Hati after being stabbed by her. And I suppose she's nothing to be worried about because lightsabers don't kill anyone now. So she's like, but she just running after with the double blasters. I loved all that, man. I thought that was
the fake force thing was great, or maybe it was a little bit of a slap that she may have managed to.
I was going to say that too.
But that was great. I love that move.
You have no power.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That was great, and that's actually, like, as great as that was, that's also part of my only criticism with that fight is I would have liked to have seen more Mandalorian from her. So whistling birds or a shield to block the saber at one point. Just, you know, she is a Mandalorian, not just a struggling Padawan. So
I still don't understand where her jetpack is. Where's her jetpack?
I don't know. I hope that is answered in story, but it might not.
Her jetpack has been 3D printed in Hong Kong for the inevitable 2.0 for season 2. That's what her jetpack
that's true.
It's
going to come.
Come on, we all know
it's got a tracking number.
Yeah. But it's not moving. Yeah, she's going to get that jetpack. Like,
it's going to come with Hu Yang and a bunch of other accessories. And you're going to have to buy Hu Yang for the.
This is it. This is it, man. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know what else I loved about the action too? Sorry, Shane.
No, go on. I
loved how even the action was cerebral. So you had that real, those moments of silence between her and Baylan, Ahsoka and Baylan, as they were sizing each other up. And if you look closely, they're changing lightsaber styles and forms. They're watching the other one, and then they're changing form, and the other one changes form. That's just really great detail in the story.
It was really good choreography.
And Ahsoka knowing that she's outmatched by his strength and his fighting style, so she only used one saber against him because she'd be stronger to block his attacks. Those things, I feel like even if you're not aware of what you're seeing, I think subconsciously they enhance the story. You know,
because I was looking at that going, why isn't she wearing the Tudum? Why wasn't she using the Tudum? So that's what I explained.
And she got emotional. That we finally got some emotion from her. You know what I mean? That was the best. That was my favorite part of the whole thing. Her getting, like, you know, thinking Sabine was dead. You know, you could see that in her face, and then you know, giving up and or getting hurt, and then fighting and trying to fight with the one hand, and you know, it was great.
No, you're 100% right. I said that on Collectors Lounge International on Sunday or yesterday. That now we see, like, we know we said on this show that you know, Rosario Dawson is she's a seasoned actor. She's got a lot of range, but unfortunately we weren't seeing it. And that mightn't even be her fault. That could have been an editing thing, which would also explain the drawn out slowness and stuff like that. But now all the things like that, you know, now we're seeing range and we're complimenting it and saying straight out, yes, this is what we want to see. It was fantastic. There's the action is there. There's some cerebral parts. That little, is she selling her out or is she not selling her out? That intrigues me personally. Yeah, this was an absolute banger of an episode. I think
it's just the way they've been writing her. Like, I just think they haven't been giving them lines to be emotional about. You know what I mean? There was an exchange between her and Sabine. Was it this episode? Jeez, I'm losing track. But like when she said she couldn't find her charge or something for her gun, and she handed it to her, and she said something like that was my whole problem with that. Just some of the writing is still not. That's my biggest problem. Like, are you worried? No. Good. Should I be? About what? About you? And it was just like, this is just stilted dialogue. Like, you just said that. Like, what? It's what you're talking about 2 seconds ago. You know what I mean? So There's still places where it needs to be better, but this was much better than the first.
It's a bit
3
like
episodes, so.
they're instead of showing us, they're telling us.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Like you know what I noticed? Like even watching the original movies again, which I always do all the time, but like in watching some scenes and stuff, there's a lot of just emotion in their faces. They don't have to say anything, and there's worry. You know, when they're going into the Minox and they're looking around and Leia's looking out, she doesn't say anything like, "What's out there, Han?" You know what I mean? Like it's just you can just see she's worried, and they're not doing enough of that with these
you know
actors
what? Like,
who can act. They can act with their eyes and their hands, and you know.
Yes.
I that's one of my kind of pet peeves about like I used to have this like a really really good English teacher, and he said like when you're writing, like you're supposed to show, don't tell. You don't say
Exactly.
My the hero, my main character is strong. You show him doing something, you know, fighting someone or lifting something strong. You don't say he is strong. Right. You don't say he is kind. You see him like, you know, like helping someone in distress or whatever, you know? Right. Like, and then like, and I'll just to be clear on this, I'm not doing any favoritism for or against it. You take like the Dark Knight trilogy, right? There's a line in The Dark Knight Rises where it's I think it's Ben Mendelsohn's character is talking to Catwoman. Catwoman says, "Do you have it?" And he said, "What? The clean slate? A device that erases someone's past, their criminal record, their banking history?" I'm like, yeah. You know what it does. You know what I mean? But it's like, you just, you know what I mean? There's the other ways, there's a million other ways where they could have like shown that in action. They could have shown it at the start, like someone actually using it to erase someone and then bring that character in, and it would have been just like a 2-minute scene, and we go, all right, that must erase something, your database or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I felt that was very on the nose, like, you know, and you know, I get that, and that's probably why you didn't give it 5 stars.
Yeah, that you're just playing down to people. People are intelligent, man. Like there's a lot of great shows out, and I'm trying to think of what I was just thinking of in comparison to it. It just doesn't talk down to the audience. It just lets people figure it out. I was just watching something. I can't remember. I watched so much. But
trust your audience. Yeah.
Trust your audience, man. They're smart. I mean, these guys know, you know, I mean, if you don't know Rebels, you don't even need to. They're not even going into that. You know what I mean? They're not even explaining like backstory on Rebels really all that much, which I think is good. You know what I mean? Because I think even people who are not haven't watched it are having a good time with it. They don't even care if they know exactly who Ezra is. So that's been good, but other times it's just like stilted dialogue, like just too much. Like, but do more with your eyes, do more with close-ups of your actors, and let them act. You know.
Yeah, but so we all know that Rosario is a good actor. I do think though some of this are her choices that she's doing are not really working for me, and a lot of people are like, "Well, Ahsoka at this time has seen a lot, and she's older," and I'm like, Alec Guinness and Christopher Lee's characters were young and hadn't seen a lot. I mean, there wasn't a single moment, at any moment in their performances did they have fantastic dialogue, right? Not really.
It's George Lucas dialogue, man.
Yeah, it's George Lucas dialogue. But they were never boring.
Never.
You know, they were never stilted. And maybe George was there to say, you know, faster, more intense. And I think she needs that instruction, faster, more intense, because even when she's explaining some details of how the Force works to Sabine in episode 3, it is boring, and you should never bore your audience with an explanation.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it isn't a little bit on Filoni. I mean, he's used to directing cartoons. I know he's done some episodes of you know, Mandalorian, but it's a different animal, man. You know what I mean? You're directing people as opposed to animators, you know, and you only can get so much expression. They did a great job of that in the animations, but I don't know. There's just that little element of extra bit of drama and acting and dialogue out of this that I want more. But the action was great. Story moved along. I don't understand why she just didn't take down the uplink. Logical stuff, like just like take that thing out and you've broken the link, you know what I mean? Then they can't get the coordinates, and the map is.
There's also like, why did we wait to the last minute to download these coordinates? We had.
I know. I know that's true. That's true too. Yeah. That's true.
Do you know it was pretty damn cool as well though?
What?
Any scene involving an X-wing ever?
Hell yeah!
Like
Carson Teva.
I think that's awesome. Like like this. Yeah, look, this felt really like Star Wars. I thought the pacing was good. I thought the like I said, more range from Ahsoka. I'm getting on board with Sabine now. Like, you know, just like the way she chased after Shin Hati and started blasting away like no fear. I like that, throwing herself in almost like a Han Solo kind of a, you know, leap first kind of thing. Yeah, like there's a lot like the Balen Skulls fights. The scenery,
He's
even
so
like the
good.
setting here.
He is
Yeah,
one.
man, it's very like I'm a big like a Tarantino fan, and like Kill Bill 1 and 2, but I think it's the end of Kill Bill, the first one, volume 1, and that scene in the snow, I'm pretty sure there's no music. It's just in the show, and there's not much happening, but it's so interesting. It's because of the dialogue and the tension and the way they're circling each other around, and then they'd make movements towards each other, and then they back off a bit and kind of gather themselves. Very like that, like they're sizing each other up. I love that. Like I love that. It's.
I will say the music has been great. The music is very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited about Wednesday. I gotta say, like, because I was getting worried. Like I was getting worried. Like, you know.
There's danger and there's character development. You know what I mean? Like people are now have like there's a personality. Now you kind of understand what the difference is between these two characters, and there's danger for them. They're in danger. You know, there's fallibility. So that
Can't
was
believe
good.
this turned out to be Reva.
You know, right?
I was right, guys. I
Who'd have
was right.
thought? Who'd have thought?
Yeah. But, so this guy ended up being a mouse fart.
That's right.
Yeah, he was. You know what I think about this though? Some people are like, "We got ripped off," and I'm like, "Well, there are times when the writers owe the audience an explanation because the story demands it." Like Snoke, for example. And there are times when they don't really owe you an explanation. He's just a cool-looking henchman, and I think that's what we got here.
I called this a while ago. Dave Filoni just likes to introduce new characters, and they could mean nothing. You know
Cool
what I mean?
figure though.
Cool figure, yeah, for
And
sure.
he's
Could be.
definitely coming. Definitely coming.
I won't be buying
Yeah,
it.
No.
I hope we
I-
get Balin first.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, head sculpts, I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to figures with head sculpts, like if they're going to make them or not. Like, you know, it's great that they've done Sabine, but, you know,
That's a good point.
Hot Toys
this
nailed the older
would be
head
such an
sculpts, though,
easy
don't
one
they?
to do. Yeah, they do. But this one, though, I thought it was kind of cool, it's like, because they could have totally shoehorned this as, I don't know, Starkiller, or, I don't know, what's the timeline with the is it Cal Kestis? Is he on the same timeline, or would that work? Or I don't know.
Yeah,
they could have shoehorned in some cameo here, but they just went, no, we're just gonna get rid of him. I like
it would
that.
bloat the show. It would really add too much confusion.
Yeah, the writing should come first, the character development, you know, the script and the action, stuff like that. And then at the end, if they have all those things, then go on, give us a cameo. Like, who doesn't love a cameo? Like, you know, but yeah, I thought this was pretty damn cool. Just all the scene with the forest and the mist, and it just makes the blades look a lot brighter, more vibrant, and a bit more, you know, consequential. Like, you know, I'm saying that lightly because I know a lot of people get stabbed and nothing happens, but I felt that there were stakes.
Also, there was more. I just appreciate these sabers. I think these are the best that Disney Television has done, the sabers. Because in Kenobi, they were like flashlights. They would light up an entire room blue, and it was just kind of obnoxious. These are toned down a bit, and they have a flicker that we saw in the films that we haven't seen in the TV shows yet.
Yeah, this is pretty damn cool. This kind of
Yeah.
they're going to go at it again now, because obviously round one went to Shin Hati, and then how did this end again? She just
Kind of a
ran
draw.
away, didn't she?
Yeah. Smoke
'Cause
bomb.
Because she, I actually loved that. That was very like, if Alan's in the chat,
Batman.
very Batman Begins. Yeah, it totally
Yeah.
was. I thought that was pretty damn cool. Like,
was cool.
yeah, she realized that the uplink had been disconnected, so she immediately reprioritized. I thought that was damn cool, because as emotional as intense as she is, she was like, no, this is not where I need to be. That made sense. Like, you know what I mean? That made sense.
Yeah.
Why she just, this person's not important, I need to go back. Yeah, that was
Exactly.
like, yeah, well done. Yeah. Dan,
And I really love that Sabine. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. Go on. You can finish.
I was going to say, I love that Sabine didn't use the Force there. When she put her hand out, I said, no, please don't have the saber. Like, don't have the Force already. And she didn't, so that was good.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah. So, Dan, I didn't get your thoughts on the episode there. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm quite enjoying the show so far anyway. Similar to you guys, I'm sort of thinking that I don't know, I think Rosario Dawson is a great actress, but she's quite wooden. It's really, I can't get my head around it. It's either the writing, which, even like, some of the prequel writing is dreadful. Like you can tell the sand line and things like that.
Oh my God.
But I'm just saying that it's weird. It's like, Ray Stevenson, and people like that, they're smashing it. I'm really enjoying it. Just finding Ahsoka's character, is she written like that? She might be written like that. She's like, a few like YouTubers have said, like, she's just constantly got her arms crossed, chin in the air, just giving like advice and all that. I'd like to see a bit more emotion from her, a little bit more, I don't know. I find she's being a bit too cool for school. Do you understand what I mean? She's very. I'm not getting a lot from her, and I'd like to see that throughout the program, where even with the ending, which we saw with Anakin, hopefully that will bring out some emotion in her to do it. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's been, last week was great. It's proper Star Wars, lightsabers, battles, everything like that. That's what we want. And I love Andor as well. Andor was one of my favourites, but just like yin and yang, it's completely different. This is good. And again, just looking at these, I'm just thinking, I want that figure. If they're clever, they could clean up on this. I think hopefully they'll do similar to like a Mandalorian, which you can buy, because there's so many individual characters in the show, which makes it quite special, if you know what I mean, where like, the Mandalorian before is just like Mandos, and like there might be a sand trooper sand people, the Tusken Raiders or something like that, where this one have all got individual sort of characters, I think, that are, Morgan, the two guys, and, Hera, Chopper, which hopefully should come with Hera. So I'm looking at it like that as well. It'd be interesting to see if they bring Zeb in, because
I think they have to at some point. Like maybe they'll save it till the second season, but they've got to bring him back together. They have to. He's there.
Cutting costs, perhaps. He's an expensive character to realize on screen, maybe.
I think that's why she doesn't have a jetpack. You got to make her fly, even though that's
they're if this show goes well, it's going to get a season 2. I'd say. They're probably like holding out. Like it's the same as the Mandalorian. He had the Durasteel, then he had the Beskar, and then he had the Beskar where he had the jetpack, and then you got the Chrome. They're holding things back because Star Wars sells stuff. So it's true.
Real quick about the writing, he goes, Balin says, if your coordinates are off, even just by a little. I was like, just by a little? How about a fraction or a half a parsec or some, just by a little? It just didn't. There's little things like that in this show that I'm
that's what I mean. Like it's just little stuff like that, and that thinking of Andor again, because Dan brought it up. Like that writing was spectacular. Like just great dialogue. Great story. It just moved along, and I
thought
that's some of that's what's missing.
Show, didn't it?
Rita saying Zeb's peeps.
It had that sort of.
Yeah, it did.
Zeb's peeps might be located in another galaxy. How do you feel about that? Because I see a lot of articles now, on media and stuff saying Star Wars is about to break a rule that it set just under 50 years ago, and it was kind of like the foundation of it now. Like it was a galaxy far, far away, and now it's a galaxy.
Well, they found
far, far away, or
more of Zeb's people at the end of Rebels. They actually there were some of them alive. He wasn't the last one, so I don't know.
But I'm more saying about this link that they've made. It's like this. What's it's a hyperdrive engine or something like that. No, it's not the.
Yep.
It's not that's not the correct term. The Millennium Falcon had a hyperdrive, but it's the hyperdrive ring. So
Hyperloop.
So the whole thing is that they can now go to another galaxy. Does that?
It's like a super hyperloop.
So I've been thinking about it like this. I mean, what's the difference? How do you differentiate when you arrive at a planet that we're in a different galaxy, right? How do you display that on screen? The thing about it though is that you have the force, which should be in every galaxy, right? It's the cosmic force. And then you have the living force. And supposedly in this galaxy, the living force is expressed in the way that the Jedi or the Sith typically use it. The Night Sisters are supposedly not from this galaxy. When they use magic, that is a force manipulation. It's their expression of their living force. So one thing I think they could do to distinguish this galaxy from the next is that you get to this next galaxy and everyone's using what looks like Night Sister magic rather than what we've known as the Force. Does that make sense? Through the Jedi? Yep. So I think that could be a way they could distinguish it, because otherwise I really don't see from a visual storytelling point how you show a difference or a meaningful difference.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, or why you'd even
Hogwarts.
do that.
Or why.
Like,
what's that?
Do you think
they end up in like somewhere like Hogwarts? I'm going to be bitten.
Yeah. Oh man.
Do you think it could be that they're trying to go to another galaxy to sort of reset some things? Not reset.
There's a sniff of that.
There's
a sniff of that. Do you know what it's like? It's like, okay, the entire franchise is hurtling towards the sequels. Like, that's the elephant in the room. And somewhere, Palpatine is out there in a cave. Snoke is getting ready to create, chaos. Luke is getting ready to be destroyed. Like, is this their way of going? Are they gonna? Are they just gonna?
Let's see what's going on over there.
Yeah. Well, so that was one potential future. There is a whiff of that, though, isn't there?
Yeah, totally.
The sequels, where's Sabine in the sequels, where they're going to either kill them off or they're somewhere else. These are two bigger characters to not have in the sequel trilogy, which is so.
Sorry, folks. Just got a chat in there. Sorry for interrupting. Thanks very much for the £2 super chat from Phil, aka The Empire Strikes Back. Or I cannot say it without saying back. I'm sorry. The Empire Strikes. Shane needs Sabine. Tell me I'm wrong. Give me another 4 episodes and we'll chat. Give me another 4 episodes and we'll chat.
Need him.
Yeah. You know what though? There's a few female characters that I'm like, I'd love to have that I'm never going to get. I don't think I'll ever get a Sarah Connor that I'm happy with. I don't think I'll ever get like a Ripley that I'm happy with, But I've got that Ahsoka. Ahsoka's the only female character I have. And then I've got that Catwoman from Dark Knight Rises on Order. They're 2 strong female characters from franchises I love, from pieces of art that I love. I don't like calling them franchises. It sounds like a fucking McDonald's. But like, they're from art that I like, So if I love these next 4 episodes, that could happen. It looks the part. It looks the part. There's no question. But I need that other. I need to love the character and love the source material. So hopefully, she definitely winning me over with the last one. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Sorry. You were saying. Sorry, I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, I was just saying that. Obviously with the sequel trilogy being so diverse, you know what I mean. And also with all these major characters coming in, are they going to? Where were they? So are they going to be off in another galaxy that they can't get back? I mean, that's then they.
Does that explain their? Well, they weren't absent. They were in. The Ghost was in the final battle, and
well, that could have just been. Yeah, I mean,
Skywalker,
you know what I'm saying, though, don't you? Could this be a whole different? Well, another.
What?
Galaxy,
You know what bothers me about that is like it's a huge galaxy. There's the Outer Rim, which is a lot of people don't go to, and it's almost like what people have said about like Star Wars as a whole. Like what? Like this is where I felt Andor kind of brought it in, but I want to see stories like outside, like the Skywalkers and their immediate. There's as a whole galaxy. You know what I mean? Like there's other stories. So like use some of that, but it's like now they feel like, oh well, we run out of room in this one. We got to go to another galaxy. It's like I haven't even explored this one. Like I haven't seen anybody outside of the circle of Skywalkers yet. Really.
Yeah, I've been to New Zealand a few times, and one of those times I drove around the North and South Island in a car for a week or two, and I saw more different varying landscapes.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah, everything's either forest or snow or desert.
And like I've been to there's a place in Jordan called Wadi Rum, and Petra and stuff like that. So they filmed like Indiana Jones there. They filmed I think they filmed Rogue One. Definitely some of the Star Wars films and stuff like that. And The Martian. It looks like it looks like Mars. Like, but like you don't always have to keep going back there. Like you know, like I love the fact that they went to Ireland for the sequels trilogy, even though like it's associated with like the way that what they did to Luke's character. It's a bloody, it's a stunning,
It's
looking,
beautiful,
ragged
beautiful.
island. Like it's just amazing. Like so,
Yeah,
but
so
yeah,
definitely.
it looked. Yeah, you know, someone could totally go there like to have a Jedi temple, but it's a pity they what they did.
I
With
think
it.
that's the difference between, even as cool as these looked on the volume, it's like in Andor when they had actual physical sets and they built that town, and they went to places like, I don't know where they filmed that scene when they were at the Imperial base and the TIE fighters flying over, but that was gorgeous. It was just, there's just something about actual location.
That
shooting.
looked like Scotland. It actually
It
looked
did look like
kind of
Scotland, right? That's
yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Spotchka. This is Daniel, I believe. Please tell me if I got the name right or wrong. Thanks very much for joining in. Much appreciated. Yeah, so like just to flick through some of these images again. Like, so what were your highlights of the? Yeah, sorry, no,
We haven't even talked about that yet.
No, we haven't even talked about that. There's a lot to, because like I can think of like so many things I liked about this episode. Like there's the actual scenery where the ship was, the forest itself with the mist and the darkness, the lightsaber battles between Marok and Ahsoka and Baylan, just Baylan in general, Shin Hati, the battle and scenes between Shin and Sabine. I'm not a big prequels fan, but it's great to see Hayden back, you know. Even like the look of, you know, when the uplink was there, and even like all the kind of like, was it magic or star effects? I thought that looked stunning, you know. So there's a lot to be happy with this, I think, you know. So
See, that modem was
wasn't even
right
an
there.
hour
All
long.
she had to do was just hit that modem, and you would have.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's
Yeah,
cool
but
how much
Trevor,
there's to talk about. in a short
Trevor, we would never have got that fantastic power punch off the rock that she did with the lightsaber.
I know.
Love that.
I know.
What did she do? What was that?
It needs to happen.
what
Do you know what
happened
a
there?
power punch is? So
No.
if you do like MMA and you jump in, put your foot on the cage.
Oh yeah, like
Sure.
your man. Oh, there was a
So-
famous. Didn't Anthony Pettis? Didn't he did a kick like that?
Yeah,
He
that's-
bounced off the cage and knocked your man clean out. That was amazing.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
But yeah, I like that. But it was good.
yeah. Good stuff. So what was your rating, Ian? Before we move on to the main topic of the channel or the channel, the episode.
This is the Shane 5 stars.
Are you giving 5 stars?
No, I'm saying it's out of 5. So
Yeah, yeah. It's out of 5.
So for me, 4.3. I really liked it. I think.
What an engineer!
Shane does not allow.
Right.
Shane,
Like
you don't allow
4.325.
no, it's his rating. It's his rating. Like I would go full stars, half stars, keep it simple. But he's there with with his Pythagoras theorem and his protractor and
Pythagoras.
fucking. I'm gonna give it a score of the square root of 9.4.
Listen, you're a chemical engineer. I'm an electronic engineer.
Right,
There's
no, that's
maybe-
fair enough, Grant. Okay,
However,
that's
maybe that doesn't make sense. I usually deal in binaries.
Right. 4.3. So look, so everyone basically is giving positive feedback for this, and I think it deserves it. Like, and I'm relieved. Phil has something to say to you. Yeah. So yeah, we all stand by that.
Shane,
Right.
what I'd say is
Go on.
because what I've picked up on a few. I've been sitting here just observing, sitting, listening, and I've listened to quite a lot of people over the past week. And people either you can't comment on an episode if it's not as positive as somebody would want, or you've got to look at the overall process. So I've been quite positive from 1 to 4. I actually went back and watched 1 straight through to 4, and it elevated it a little bit for me.
Oh, good stuff. I'm definitely going to do that because I typically watch them twice. I watched episode 1 and 2 twice, I didn't watch episode 3 twice, but I want to go back and watch episode 4 again. But I'm going to do that. Just watch them all.
See, the other thing just to bring up with the guys when you talk about Ahsoka, I'm maybe not as, I'm not going to say harsh, I'm trying to think of the right words. I completely agree with what everybody's saying. I just wonder it's because of the different directors that are involved that she's just reverting back to the cartoon Ahsoka, and then maybe her thinking what the wars and time does to that person without having that real direction that somebody needs. So it's got the different directors. I wonder. I'm not saying it is. I'm just wondering if it is that. But
Yeah.
Do you think
you
the different
need
directors...
a strong showrunner for that, and if you don't have one, the directors.
yeah. Whereas like Balin is a different character. He's stealing the show. I love him. He's just commanding it. Just everything about him is great.
Well, he's got depth, right? I mean, like there's they've established that through just his what he's talking about, and his attitude has been really cool. Like, he's strong, he's taking people out, he's choking people down, whatever, and then at the same time he's like has some sympathy towards Sabine, and at least
and
trying to get
killing
an ends to a
Ahsoka
or a means to an end. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, hey, I'm a Jedi, so I'm still a Jedi here, you know what I mean? And the Jedis are few and far between, and we wouldn't like to, you know.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting character. He's not black and white. He's not just an evil Sith guy. And he's the most interesting person on the show.
But you also don't know his motivation. You don't know.
That's true. That's true. I thought he was talking in this one. The way I interpreted that little discussion he was talking about with Thrawn was that he kind of wanted to get the Thrawn to stop him before he had to come back. You know what I mean? Like, he
that
thinks
would be
he's the
rude,
worst.
which is important.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
You, Shane.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But I agree. Like,
that's the understatement of the century, calling Clarence Boddicker rude. He shot a man hands off and laughed about it. Yeah. He was a see you next Tuesday. Yeah.
He was a can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to see
but
him
I
stick to
think
one director.
Balin seems like the perfect guy to want the return of a character like Thrawn, because Thrawn's an intellectual. He's very different from like a mustache twirling kind of guy, and Balin seems like the person that would want to bring him back and then step aside and let him rule. He doesn't seem power hungry. He seems like he wants order in the galaxy.
He did say with it came power. Like, he did tell
that is
Shin
true
that it was like, so he's looking for something, but I don't know what level.
Here's a question,
and that keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So here's a question, guys. For those that have read Heir of the Empire and then watched Rebels, that Thrawn version is somewhat different. Which one do you want?
I heard somebody say this today. Like, it's the guy who is, voiced him in Rebels. So I'm assuming we're going to get, and it's Dave Filoni. So I'm assuming we're going to get Rebels Thrawn, and not really, but maybe an amalgam. I mean, maybe an amalgam, maybe a little less.
I thought you were going into like a Christopher Walken impression. This guy, I thought you were going.
It's weird. I know, but
I know.
Come back.
Yeah. He's using the Force.
Yeah,
that's a terrible impression.
The Force. He had this lightsaber up his ass.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
The Force. You got to do the Boston accent.
Yeah, he kind of talks and then he stops. And then he talks again and he stops.
So, supposedly he removes all punctuation from his scripts, and that's true. That's serious. Like, he said that. He removes periods, commas, and everything because he doesn't want to be told where to pause, which is perfect. Like, you can see that's what he does.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him in Dune. It's gonna be great.
So, obviously, then we got the, Hayden shows up. Not much to say. There was emotion here. She looked like she's about to cry. It was very well done. He's back, and now hopefully we get some more explaining what the story is, why he's in the World Between Worlds, how she got the World Between Worlds, and everything. So. We're going to leave that there, but we're going to bring into our main topic. Now, our main topic is constructive criticism. As in, is it okay to say you don't like a movie? Is it okay to say to critique a head sculpt? Is it okay to, as in positive or negative? Like, as in, how do you express your critique of something, a piece of art, in a constructive way? So before we go into this, we're going to just outline two different things, right? So just put this, like everyone knows what this is anyway, but I've pulled this together just off the internet today. So what is toxic negativity? Toxic negative energy is like a cancer sucking the life out of a room. People who are negative have a problem with every solution, make others feel uneasy, and make everyone around them shut down. So that's one extreme, the toxic negativity, right? We all know what it is. The internet is rife with it. Then on the flip side, which can be damaging sometimes as well, is toxic positivity. So toxic positivity is the pressure to only display positive emotions, suppressing any negative emotions, feelings, reactions, or experiences. It invalidates human experience and can lead to trauma, isolation, and unhealthy coping mechanisms. Now, when I think of this, I think of that meme when everything's on fire and you have the little dog or whatever going, it's fine.
This is fine.
It's fine. That's what I think of. So there's two extremes there. Look, there's two extremes really. So like, how do you go about then putting an opinion across on whether it's a book or TV show, a piece of art, a movie, a head sculpt, a figure or something like that? How do you go about like putting your point across that you're not just being, negative for the sake of negative, and you're also not being like positive for sake of positive? Like, how do you go about doing that? Like, does anyone want to come in on that?
I mean, as an approach to, I'll take it like as an approach to art, because I went to design school and I critique, toy photographs on Maz's Toy Channel, and people have asked me to do that. I think you have to be honest, but I think you have to find there's something positive in everything. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be Pollyannish about it, but like, hey, like with an episode of Ahsoka, I really, I like the way they're doing the effects. So the lightsabers look really good, but I think the dialogue needs some work. You know what I mean? And I guess it depends on the context and who you're talking to. You can get a bunch of like-minded people around and you could just start, trashing something. You know what I mean? Like if everybody feels the same way. And there's probably people watching, or if it's like a live stream like this or something, who don't feel that way and are feeling attacked because you're just sitting there attacking their favorite movie or whatever.
But you're not attacking them.
No, and you're not attacking them, and you don't. It's kind of the same thing with sports. I feel like all the time it's like people like will bust my balls because the Cowboys lost. They didn't last night. But like I can neither take credit for their winning or take blame for their loss. I sat there and watched it on TV. I have no stake in this. You know what I mean? And it's a movie that I watched, or it's a comic book or a book that I liked. I liked it, but I didn't write it. And if it was mine, it's a different thing. Like it's a different thing if you're critiquing somebody's piece of art or something that somebody liked. So I guess there's different levels there between there. So,
but like,
I don't know.
Do you think it's okay to say like critique a director's vision of something, or a director's the way that they directed a movie, their style,
to their face?
If you're not, no, that's not what I was going to say. If you're not a director yourself, that you necessarily have to be a director in order to critique a director's work, or do you have to be an actor to critique an actor, or do you have to be a head sculptor to critique a head sculptor, head sculpt, someone else's work, a head sculpt?
No, but I think you have to take that as a person watching that, you have to take that with a grain of salt, because it's like, I'm not an expert. You know what I mean? Like, it's like military strategy. Oh, they should have done this. Or sports. Again, going back to sports, they should have done that play. They should have played this. They should have. Well, dude, if you were that good, you'd be on the field, directing it. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? You're not a director. You've never directed anything in your life. You've never acted a day in your life. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. I have an opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert.
The reason I'm asking that is because I don't think I necessarily have to be a professional head sculptor.
No.
Or painter to give an opinion on something.
No.
Because the way I see it is like, my job is, I am a teacher. I am a chemistry teacher. But if I'm not showing up to work, or if I'm showing up late, or if I'm unprepared, or my results are terrible, people have the right to ask questions then. because I'd be like, what's going on? And they're not qualified. Or if I bring my car to a mechanic, even though I am not a mechanic, if the sound isn't gone, by the time I bring it back, I'd be like, I'm not a mechanic, but I know that you can do your bloody job because it sounds, you know what I mean? So, you see my point?
Sure.
Like I'm not an expert, but I still think, especially with art is so subjective,
It is.
my opinion is not right. Like, I'm very conscious of that. Like,
Right.
What I like is, like, I think The Matrix is one of the best movies ever made, but that's all it is. It's a think, it's an opinion. It's a never be a 1 or a 0, as that's for Ian, binary. See what I did there? But like, you know what I mean? But
we're almost to that point in society where it has to be a 1 or a 0. I think people,
you're either with us or you're against
us. You pick a side, and man, you dig in for some things. Either whether it be politics or whether it be there used to be a PC Apple thing, and then it's Star Wars, Star Trek, or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you dig in and you like something, and that's it. And like anybody who opposes that is the enemy. You know what I mean? We're getting to that point in society. It gets a little weird with things.
This is a good point. I know I agree with all your points. I like the way you've articulated them. Uncarded reviews, keeping the criticism or critique focused on the subject in question and not attacking the person.
Yep.
Or the creator. Yeah, I think that's it really. Like, and I think like a large percentage of people get that. But there's, like, I think the Tony Stank head sculpt, when that came out, I think JC Hong got a lot of like very unsavory messages in response to that. I'm pretty sure it was Hong or whoever sculpted it. But
right.
Ian, what do you think?
Shane, in this world that we're talking about, the pop culture thing, it's all subjective. It's not science. It's not peer reviewed, all that stuff where, science ultimately doesn't give a toss about somebody's opinion, right? So
that's
it's what we know, right? So it's all subjective. So take what I was educated in and put that to one side. What we're dealing with is subjective, and you've got to. I was brought up to research and listen to all sides. It doesn't matter what it was. Just it was something that was instilled for me from my dad. And one thing has always stuck with me that he said many times: you were born with, in general, you were born with 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth, right? And I take that with me, whether I fulfill it all the time or not. But in this, it's very subjective. Pop culture's subjective. It's opinion. And for me, I listen to all sides, but I find it, like Shane, you've brought it up, if somebody disliked a movie franchise like the Dark Knight trilogy that we love so much and they said it's trash, I don't care, because I like it. But don't attack a person. That's where I've got an issue. And then I relate to, as well, I've been thinking about it over the past few months, that you see certain pockets. I don't participate in forums because that brings out a certain element that I just don't want to see. I've got better things to do with my time. So I look at a Six Sigma model, like a distribution model. You've got outliers, right? I focus on that middle. That's where I work. And I'll just, but I hear stuff. That's where I'm at. It's subjective, and I think people get triggered way too easy, in my opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. And Shane, example, I'd recommended For All Mankind to you.
Oh yeah,
right? Which I adore. And if nobody else has seen this on this, I put my neck out. Go watch it. It's special.
Yeah.
But if Shane came back to me and said, "That's dog shit," sorry, I wouldn't be offended. But I wouldn't be offended.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. Yeah.
And Shane, if Shane thought it was dog shit, he would tell me it was a dog shit, and I'd be like, okay. But I love it. It wouldn't change how I feel, and that's where I want us to be. And another point that I think, everybody that's on YouTube, whether you've got your own channel or you're on here on a panel, I think you've got to be, and it's difficult, especially being a guy from Scotland, sometimes you're a bit, but you've maybe got to think about how communicate and not fuel a certain thing that's going on in the environment. I've seen some things fighting fire with fire, and I think you've just got to take a step back. And I know I'm being a bit generic. I think there's a bit of a responsibility not to fuel what goes on in some forums, where there's people hiding behind the keyboard and it's easy just to type. You don't know what else is going on in somebody's life, right? But I think there's a responsibility that we've not got to fuel something that potentially other things are going on, because you know, we can't control other people, or it's, you know, all these things and outliers that I talked about. There are areas that just want to shit on an IP. I think it's quite clear that we see some things that just want to be completely negative. I don't focus on that. That's whatever, you know.
No, that's very, very level-headed. You're muted, Trevor. I can't hear you anyway.
Nothing.
Still can't hear you. Oh no, talk there. Ooh. No, do you want to maybe go back out and come back in again? I can hear some sort of a buzz coming through there, but can you? Yeah, I think he's going to go out and come back in again. Ian, can you want to talk there? I want to see if I can still hear you and Mike.
Can you hear me?
I can still hear you, Mike. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, yeah, some really good points there. Ian, kind of good food for thought. Really quickly there, just want to. So we got a we got a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, from X-Man Supreme, channel member. I just want to let Trevor back in here. And okay, so while we're pontificating on opinion versus fact and getting unduly offended, let's talk pineapple on pizza.
Oh God,
I'm guilty. I put the pineapple in or around the pizza.
It's not my first choice, but I like it. I don't mind.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Trevor,
it's fine. It's not the worst defense. It's not the worst defense. It's fine.
Okay.
I've come around to Mike's Hot Honey now on pizza, which I was like,
yes,
like, oh, it's good.
It's great. Oh,
Mike's
man.
Hot Honey.
Yeah,
news to me.
If you put that on, if you put hot honey on pepperoni, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
especially
Very good.
pepperoni. Yep,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Thanks very much to X-Man Supreme. Much appreciated. Brannon Salad just basically saying, well said, Ian. Most hobbies have a degree of tribalism, and people gravitate towards others who share an opinion or point of view. It's just the nature of the beast, mob mentality, and dogpiling on. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I snowboard, like yeah. I was about to make a joke about skiing, but like you see it all the time. Like, you know, you're on the same mountain, and then it's like us and them. Like, but at the end of the day, like, you know, people are friends. Like,
cut off by the skiers.
Yeah.
To Ian's point about trolls, though, like in feeding that, you know, I'm like on forums where I was for TV, like The Walking Dead, and I kind of fell out of love with The Walking Dead, you know, several seasons ago, and I just didn't leave the groups or whatever, and I'd read something, and I just read, you know what I mean? And then there's always somebody who like this show sucks in season 4. Why are you here? Like why are you still in this group and bothering to comment? It's just somebody who wants a reaction, who wants to, and those are the people you have to ignore. It's like the people who trigger me, but like I gotta like, nope, I'm not gonna feed that troll, man. It's bad.
I've never disliked a YouTube video. That's a god honest truth.
Yeah.
I just
like thumbs down it, you mean? Like,
yeah, I just because
you just leave.
I just unsub. Like it's just easier. It's like not for me. Like you know, it's just easier. Like but yeah. Sorry, Mike.
Also,
what's your take on this, or like how would you go about giving constructive criticism? Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I have a few things to say about. First of all, we're not talking about some kid's diary that's blown open on the sidewalk and we're reading his private poetry. This art is commercialized. Yeah. We have a monetary relationship with this art, which gives us the right to express an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. I think everyone is entitled to their opinion. I often hear, if you don't like this, then you better have a good reason why. It's like, nope, I don't owe anyone a good reason why. Because no one ever says, if you like this as much as I do, you better have a good reason why. So I don't need a good reason why I like it or don't like it. Now, I can express myself in a way that garners better relationships. And if relationships are important to you, then yes, you should either express yourself well or work on expressing yourself in a more congenial manner. So it's also what's important to you. Now, I watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of the Star Wars channels I watched during the sequel era have now just become like total hate fests by people who like aren't even watching the content, you know, and they're hating it before it's aired, and then they don't even watch it, and they create videos about how bad it is. That I get no value from that. But I do get value from a difference of opinion. If I love something, I'm more interested in hearing the opinion of someone who didn't like it. I used to be an actor, and I would go to the stage manager and say, you know, those cards we hand out, those review cards, can I see some of those? And he said, even the bad ones? I said, put those on top.
Yeah.
I'm asking to see them because look, I can call my mother if I want to hear like how great I am, right? Like, I have a wonderful mom, you know what I mean? But that doesn't help me. I can't grow, and it really will least likely expand how I see the world and how I see my place in it. So I want to see the criticism, and I feel that way about art. I want to hear a difference of opinion. It's so important because there's two ways this can go. Either we pretend the difference of opinion doesn't exist, or we subvert the difference of opinion, and that's a really boring world to live in, whether it's politics, art, anything, you know. So I'm very much like a free speech absolutist, and not just the government's ability to curtail free speech, but as a society, I think we should all welcome it. And look, if somebody is expressing themselves in a way that's hurtful or rude or whatever your boundaries are, then yeah, you can distance yourself from that person or not watch their videos, but
block them,
well, you know, whatever. But I think I assume everybody watching it here is an adult, and I know we're all adults on the panel, and I think we should it's important to the next generation to show them that we as adults have a thicker skin than they might have as a child. So
yeah, that's fair enough. Just going back to your point, Ian, like you said, like if I come back to you and I'd said, yeah, man, like, you know, that For All Mankind is dog shit. Like, like, I think that like, if the person, I knew the person really, really liked it, I'd probably just say, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like in that kind of a way. But at the same time, if someone said like, as in, you know, say like something I love, like The Matrix, if it said like, that was just awful, that was shite, or you know, the Dark Knight trilogy is shite, or whatever, I'm just kind of like, like as in, I know I can take that kind of, yeah. But you know, and you can, I'd say everyone on the panel can, but I'd still be kind of conscious about, do you know, it's just, it's not for me. It's just easier. Like, but like, if they really want your opinion, if they really, really want you to tell, they got it out, you'd be like, I just thought it was shit. It's blah, 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 blah. But like, do you know, just for fun, I want you to think of like a movie or TV show that you love, a movie, TV show, trilogy, whatever it is you love. And I want you to critique it, right? I'll start off just to kind of set it. Obviously, big Dark Knight fan, but I thought the voice was perfect in the first movie, but the dialogue was significantly less. But by the end of the second and third movie, he was having full-blown conversations with the voice, and the voice was getting more raspy. That didn't make sense. I mentioned before about that line about the slate. They weren't showing anything, they were telling you. They're just kind of like, yeah, look, let's just get the audience up board here. Yeah, the clean slate, the device that, you know, wipes out your entire criminal record and banking history, whatever, that was on the nose. Batman and Catwoman should have never kissed with the masks on. Totally unnecessary. Ridiculous. Shouldn't have happened. I just know. And my final thing is, what I would have loved to see, I think a better ending would be if you see Alfred at the end of that, and he picks up his like coffee and he looks straight into the screen, and just has Michael Caine to be able to capture that subtle movement of, as if he's just seen a ghost, because you know,
and then that's
he's
it.
seen him, but don't show him.
Exactly.
Man, those changes would elevate The Dark Knight Rises by, I think, a half star. I think The Dark Knight Rises is probably a 4-star film for me, and I love The Dark Knight Rises. I think it gets an unnecessary amount of crap, but it was following The Dark Knight. It was very hard to live up to. So I'm criticizing, providing constructive criticism about my favorite trilogy. You know, and you ask me another day, and I'll say The Dark Knight Rises is a 5-star movie, but well, 4.5, I'd say. You know what I mean? But my point is, I'm still able to go, right, let's look at it almost like, take the emotion out of it and just look at it almost objectively. And they're the things that I would change, but I'm not the director. But like, that is something I'm passionate about. So can I know I'm putting him on the spot here. I didn't actually give you the heads up. Is there anything there that you could pick out, like something that you love that you're like, you know what, was a bit silly, or just to provide some kind of
So I think The Lord of the Rings is probably as much as a Star Wars fan as I am, I think The Lord of the Rings is probably the most perfect trilogy that's ever been made. But there was a point in the third movie where Legolas is they're being attacked, and he skates down the stairs on the shield like his surfer. And I was like,
Tony Hawk, man.
This is, somebody got a little too carried away and a little too confident in in the action in this one, and it was really dumb, and it took me out of it for a second. You know what I mean? I was just like, no. And there's been a few elements of that throughout the Marvel movies and Star Wars for sure. But yeah, that in the Dark Knight Returns, man, Rise is that ending. I've always thought that, man, if he just looked up and smiled and they cut, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so good. I don't need to see him.
No, that's
great.
Yeah.
Shane, I'm sure I've got loads that I'm on the back foot, but I think I get what you say on the Dark Knight trilogy, but I'm at the point where I just want to be entertained, and I don't overanalyze.
Entertained?
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
So I don't. There's little things that I pick up in movies, but I don't let it spoil. It's only if it's got a compounding effect. If there's like a lot of it, then it becomes an issue. You know, I like the sense of wonderment. I don't need to fill in certain things. Where is the story going? So I get what you're saying and why you brought that up. I'm on the back foot. I'm sure I could bring up things and you'd be constructive, but there's those bits that you are saying that you see as potential for improvement. It's not affected your enjoyment, right?
No, that's fair.
And if somebody else brought that up as constructive feedback, you'd be like, yeah, okay, but it's still not going to affect how you rate that trilogy that you love. And I think for me, Shane, the key thing when I think about it is for anybody not to close down healthy, reasoned discussion on that side and on that side. Don't close a discussion down before anything else. That's an issue that I think's not so great. You know, promote constructive adult discussion.
Sorry, I just want to come in on this. Tony Marine, I almost got exiled to Ireland for saying that the Hot Toys Doc Ock looks like crap to me.
Not a terrible place to be exiled to.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking that wasn't me.
I'll take that.
I'm getting the figure. I'm really, really hyped about it, but I think the head sculpt is far from great. Do you know what I mean? It's nice from afar, but it's far from great. Who nearly exiled you? Actually, don't name drop. We'll get everyone in trouble. I hope it wasn't me anyway, because I agree with you. It doesn't look great. I think it's maybe I think it's a bit better than you think it. It's probably maybe about 7, but yeah. But
I like that sculpt.
I think with the glasses on, I think the whole voting with the wallet, I think it hits the threshold for me. Just about it. The sum of the parts, the obviously the 2 sets of tentacles. I think the tailoring is fantastic. The silhouette, but 7 at best. Like it's just
See, I have to see it in
it's
person.
hit the threshold. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of sculpt to me, and I've said this before, that depending on how you pose him, and if he's like fighting, maybe losing a battle against Spider-Man or something like that, I think you could read something different in that expression, especially in the eyes. There's like a sense of confusion or bewilderment. It's not just a straight up smile, in my opinion, just from the Sideshow video they recently released. I think it looks really
Wrong.
good. Exactly. No, I'm right. We didn't solve the world's problems here so far.
Yeah. Boba Fettuccine says a 10 out of 10 from the neck down. Yeah. Do you know the way I describe it, Tony? We're groups of fully grown adult men and women who collect toys. We don't need any more reason to be behaving like children. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like we're big kids at the heart of it. Like, but yeah.
And like, don't we want to use this hobby as an escape from everything else, right? I like, because, but
we're in a world of opinions. I mean, we tune into shows like this to listen to other people's opinions.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all opinion based, and honestly, the shows that are negative in all, not in just 1/6, but especially like in 1/12, like the Hasbro, HasLabs, and all the channels that made their names out of attacking them and saying how greedy they were and it was terrible. It sells, man. It sells. Unfortunately, that is the world we're in. And opinions,
but even
everybody
this comment
can
here,
put them out into the world.
Like I could not disagree more, but it's his opinion. Like it's just like, do you mean what I say?
Controversial.
Like I don't agree with him, or them or whoever, but like it's fine. Like I'm not gonna be like full screen myself, but like it's,
I mean, you just think less of this person. You know what I mean? Like, and your ability to reason and taste, but that's fine. Good for you.
It's so divisive though, like because everyone has their Batman. Mine technically should be Keaton because that was the one that made me that movie '89 made me. It was the first movie I remember loving.
Me too.
It made me love movies, not just Batman, whatever. But I always wanted to see. I remember always thinking, going, I know it was a comic book movie, but I was like, it's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? Like a guy who dresses up as a bat. How would that even work? And then Nolan almost made you believe that. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. And I loved that. Like, but I get that. Say, comic book fans might gravitate towards Affleck's Batman or something like that. I was just expressing my opinion and couldn't believe the blowback. It made me laugh. I would be exiled. I'd love to be exiled to Ireland forever. And Cali, oh man, I don't know. I've never been to Cali, but it's on my list. I'd love to go. Yeah, it's funny though, because for that one, like I'm getting that figure. Like I'm getting that. I'm still hyped about it, but I recognized I wouldn't have a leg to stand on my channel going if I said, oh, it's a 10.
Yeah.
No way. Like no one would take you serious. I gotta be honest. Like it's a 7 with the glass on at best if I squint. Do you know what I mean? Like, but
see, Shane, I'm like you. I can't wait for Doc Ock to come in. It's one of my favourite villains. And I had the Toys Era one, and that quickly got sold. And I respect that, a lot of people love that figure, and that's great. That is absolutely great. We should just be lucky that we've got these options, right? But for me, what I quite like, silver linings, right? They've not gave us the stoic expression that's there, because Doc Ock has always had this kind of grin going back from the comics and that sort of thing. So I'm quite glad that they've done that. It would have been a really nice touch if they gave 2 sculpts. That would have been good to try and settle, some of the issues. But overall, the tail and those tentacles, that's what I can't wait for. The overall figure, I'm really excited for this. So,
I think the figure can hover with the tentacles down.
Do you think so?
Right. I think I've seen a picture.
I heard people say that you can't do that. I was thinking I've seen I think Jetta before. He just got like the dynamic poles, and he just took one off and like screwed that into, like drilled a hole in the wall and just screwed that in like that. So it's almost like the dynamic pole is literally screwed into the wall, anchored, So you could like grab him from behind then like that, and he wouldn't be on anything. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
One other
I'd be
thing-
surprised. I'd be surprised if the tentacles can't hold it up in the right position, because I've got the integrated suit, the full deluxe with the tentacles, and they're really, the two of them that are come with the diorama are really sturdy.
This comment makes me happy. If we
Yeah,
can't
that's
have
the one I
face
saw.
sculpt. Yeah, that's pretty damn cool, man. I
MRC.
need to watch this after this.
Yeah, but
So
I was
like
going to
just-
say real quick, Shane.
Yeah, go on,
with
go on,
the
go on.
franchise that I love, like Star Wars. I've often said that, hey, I'm going to give my opinion on this. I wasn't the biggest fan, but just know that I'm jealous of you if you were. And I mean that sincerely. You know, with a franchise I love, like Star Wars or something. And I think, yeah, there's nothing wrong with feeling like that. Like, I wish I liked more Star Wars stuff than I do like, you know? So I'm actually jealous of you. I don't think you're stupid. I think I'm just jealous of you. You know, it's not a judgment on who you are as a person.
And the flip side of that, like we didn't touch on this, but the toxic positivity. Yeah, I've seen little bits and pieces of that here and there, and it's equally as annoying. Just because it's like you can't possibly have an opinion that doesn't, conform to mine, because otherwise you're an idiot. And like, and that, just like let's all be happy about this, and like, well, you could be happy about it,
Right.
exactly. Not on the level, man. I'm not on the same level. You know what I mean? So, and I don't think that anybody who puts that out there is necessarily 100% always positive about everything, or that person would be really annoying to be around. So,
But the like, say, like, there's a difference between like saying, yeah, I'm not gone on the pace of the show, or I'm not gone on, I don't know, whether maybe the effects, like key things like your writing, your acting, your character development, your action, or whatever. Like, they're kind of things like, you kind of have those locked down for a good show. But like, when the opening crawl came down, I'm just going to use Ahsoka because it's current. When the opening crawl came down, I was like, that's awesome. But I didn't like the font. But that's not something I'm going to say, because that's bloody stupid. That is a nitpick, if ever a nitpick. That's not a legitimate criticism. That's personal. That's as nitpicky as it gets. You don't say things like that, like, and actually, do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nitpick. So it's not.
I've said that about menus, and nobody really cares. So it's like,
Yeah. Not a fan of the old Helvetica, no.
Oh, I like Helvetica.
Yeah.
Sans serif.
Yeah.
Comic Sans, no, please.
Times New Roman, man. It's as basic as it gets.
Boring.
Folks, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Really enjoyed that show, and thank you very much for coming on. I do have something that I do just want to play just before we finish up, if it will indeed play for me. But right, okay, so we interrupt this broadcast. It's on the way, folks. It's on the way. It's a work in progress. It will be here soon. So I'm just putting the finishing touches on it, and it'll drop when it drops. Okay, folks. Anyone want to plug something before we finish up?
1 6-pack will be back this Friday. We'll be talking about all this stuff. If you were Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions interested, curious, Legions Lounge is on tonight. We're going to be giving some stuff away. And I got a new show at the end of every month for toy photography, just picking the best, talk about positivity, picking the best photos of the previous month and going over those and just glowingly reviewing those and talking good things. So, yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah,
That's for me. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man.
No, anytime. Mike?
Yeah, you can catch me on Evil Sneakers channel. We review Ahsoka every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern. That's been a lot of fun. So if anybody wants to tune into that, we have a good time over there. That's it.
Excellent stuff.
Nice.
And Ian?
Yeah, about, don't have my own channel, but I'm on Instagram. But next Tuesday, I'm working with reviews with Rich, doing a new show, doing entertainment style movies, pop culture, 9 p.m. UK time. So that's kicking off next week. So yeah, quite looking forward to getting something going
Excellent
on
stuff.
that. So
And Rich recently hit 1,000 as well, didn't he?
1,000 subs, yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so I'm pretty sure we're just going to close it out there. Yeah, so look, there's a collection tour incoming. I don't want to promise a date just in case something happens at work and then I have to push it back, but it is it's less than 7 days away. That's the time frame I'm working off. I just have to put in 2 other finishing touches and then it's ready to go. But I'll schedule it and you'll have plenty of notice if people want to check that out. Apart from that, that's it. I think we're good to go. All right, folks, thank you very much for your time, people in the chat, people in the panel, and yeah, we're
everyone.
good to finish out. So see you, folks. Thank you, and good night.